tale. Well, there's a place I've come to know well, led by a man named Sty. He's full of stories, he is quite a guy. Sit around the campfire and hear him tell his tale. Some may be able to relate to him quite well. We're all just people looking for a place to go. Well, Sty has made one, and it is quite a show. Come meet Sty, he's quite the guy. If you're feeling lonely, come and make a friend. If you need a story, on Sty you can depend. His voice is soothing like a lullaby. Sometimes he brings a tear to my eye. Sit around the campfire and hear him tell his tale. Some may be able to relate to him quite well. We're all just people looking for a place to go. Well, Sty has made one, and it is quite a show. Come meet Sty, he's quite the guy.
Well, hello, folks. Hey, thanks for showing up on Sunday afternoon to hang out at the Sty Shack. Yeah, as you can see in my background, this Christmas week, I mean, a week from now, it'll be the day after Christmas. We'll all be recovering from all the goodies and all of the gift opening and all the family. The Sunday after the day of Christmas, that's to relax, kick back, think about yourself. Oh, yeah. You'll have your year-long fill of family, I'm sure. So that's why the Christmas background now. Whoops. There we go. Only person out in the chat right now is Mojo. Grilling and chilling with Mojo. What a great buddy he is. Yeah. Yeah. And I got a good dear friend down in the basement. We're going to pull her up right away. We're not going to hesitate. We're going to get her up here. I'm going to put the link out there in the chat a little later for people that want to pop up. But for now, Jim and I are going to share the screen.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Sty.
It is so good to see you, girl.
You too, always.
Yeah.
Sundays, I look forward to it.
Yeah. There's some things that I truly look forward to. And that's my Sundays.
Absolutely.
I like my Sundays. All week going through the regular hustle and bustle, and then on Sundays, I look forward to that, being able to just kick back, just enjoy and chat with all my friends here. Oh wow, Kimberly, hello, Kimberly Ferris just popped in. Awesome, it's great to see you. She's saying hello to both of us. Kimberly's great. I love. If I don't see Kimberly, I wonder what's going on. You know. But oh wow,
she's in the chat.
Yeah, she's out in the chat. There's Johnny Bravo. Great to see you. Sun's out here, even though it's 18 degrees. I'm still grilling bangers. You betcha. You betcha. Don't let the weather stop you. We don't here in Wisconsin. To us, this is barbecuing weather, you know.
It's very good here. It's been
I'm
between
just
-2
messing with stuff.
and -1 here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just sitting here. I had to open up StreamYard and we'll see what happens. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. I didn't want to mess things up. Hey, Mr. Shannonite's in the house. It's been a while. Sorry I'm late. Wasn't sure how to let Gemma know I got wood for her journey.
I think I have an idea of who that is, but I'm not 100% certain. But yeah, nice one.
Yeah, Mr. Shannonite used to pop in quite often. Yeah, it's great to see you. Yeah, I tell you what, this week has been interesting. My son wasn't supposed to be home until December 21st, which is next week, Wednesday, I believe. He showed up this week. He got home, I think it was Thursday. He sent me a message and said, I'm going to be in such a town. Well, that's just south of us, about 3 hours. And he says, and then I get to come straight home for his whole. So he takes a vacation over Christmas and New Year's. So he'll be home until about. He leaves on January 4th. So he's here for 3 weeks. 3 weeks. It's been fun having him home. We've been laughing too much, I guess. We're both playing the same PlayStation game, and we got these two big screen flat screens in our living room, and I'm playing the same game he's playing, but we're playing separate games, and we're watching each other. And what are you doing over there? What are you doing? And so, yeah, it's been an interesting few days. We had a big snowstorm last week. I don't know if my camera's hooked up or not. I'm going to check and see if. Oh, no, that ain't the right thing. There we go. See if my extra camera's even working. It is. It is. I can show you what it looks like outside for us.
Oh, wow.
Whoa. Yeah, we got a heck of a snowstorm, and all those sidewalks, all that's been cleaned out. It's got a little bit of snow on it. It snowed yesterday and last night a little bit, but it took me 3 hours to do those sidewalks and around both sides of our house, but I never got the back of the place done because the snowblower broke down again. So I got to work on that tomorrow and get it running, finish the back of the house before the next big snowstorm comes through. But that snow was so wet and heavy that the snowblower, as it was blowing it, it just it's like it was pooping it out onto the ground next to it because it's supposed to blow it away, but oh no, it's just coming out bloop right there, and it would clog up, and I'd have to chisel ice out of it. It usually takes me about an hour to do all that in the front, and that's about 150 feet of sidewalk left and right across the roadway. And then from the roadway to the house, it's about 75 feet. And then around the two sides of the house, that's the two sides together, it's close to another 200 feet. Usually takes about an hour just to do the front and down the sides of the house. Took me 3 hours to do that the other day. But it felt good to be out there, snow blowing. I was enjoying the heck out of it till my snowblower broke down. Hey, good to whoa. First, oh man, things are moving quicker than I can click.
Hey, Scott.
There he is. There's Scott. Good to see you, Scott Keller. Yeah, ice is no ice. We had a neighboring county, Bayfield County. I live in Ashland County. The neighboring county,
Okay.
my youngest son lives over there. It's about an hour's drive to his house. He couldn't even
Yeah.
come to work the day of that snowstorm because the roads had not been plowed. It was so wet and heavy, you couldn't even drive in that crap. 6,500 people in that county, neighboring county, were without power for
Oh, wow.
over 46 hours.
Ouch. That's
Two
not good.
full days they were without power because the snow was so heavy. You can still see it sticking on the pine trees across the
Yeah,
way
yeah,
from us.
yeah.
But I had some of our trees and bushes in our front yard around the sides of the house that were down touching the ground from the weight of the snow. But here in our community, almost all of the power is underground.
Yeah.
But down in that county, almost all their power is above ground, and the trees took the power out everywhere.
Oh, okay.
6,500 people without power for 2 days.
Ouch.
And there's Rebecca Felter. It is so good to see you.
Hey,
Just
Rebecca.
stopping by real quick. I'm about to watch some Vlogmas, so I can't stay long. Hope everyone has a wonderful and blessed day. Well, you too, Rebecca. Thank you. Thanks for popping in. That's great. Hey,
Thank
here's your
you,
chance,
Mr.
folks. Share
Shannon,
this
for the
out.
compliment.
Get your friends out here. Yeah. Scott, I totally, I think that would be cool to have a heated sidewalk. I watched a video the other day up in upstate New York, Buffalo, New York. They had that big, huge snowstorm, and the guy's got a heated driveway. Heated driveway. He went out there anyway with his snowblower because they got almost 4 feet of snow in that snowstorm. So he
Yeah.
blew the worst of it off of the driveway. And he's got this time-lapse camera going. And when he got off the driveway, you still couldn't see the driveway because there was still snow on it. But he got the worst of it off, and it time-lapse. And within a matter of 8 hours, his driveway was clean as a whistle. Everybody else you can see across the street from him, they're out there shoveling their driveways. And his is just clean and dry. The heat under the driveway dried it all out. Hey there, plain old Chuck.
Hey, Chuck.
Great to see you, bud. Friends, what are those? Yeah. Yeah.
We're all friends, Chuck.
Friends are friends, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to take that down off of there. Looking
Mr.
at that.
Shannon, I appreciate the compliment you just put about me in the chat. I appreciate that.
Yeah, Mr. Shannon.
I'm just being me by the end of the day.
That's Gemma. That's our Gemma. Yeah. But yeah, Christmas season's upon us. Oh boy.
Yeah. Hey, Rebecca. I've actually been working on some playlists videos for Christmas, my YouTube channel.
Uh-huh.
I think I've done 3 videos for the playlist. I'm going to do another one tomorrow talking about socializing and how it can overstimulate people who have disabilities or autism.
Right.
And I'm going to talk about strategies and coping techniques and stuff like that.
Right.
For tomorrow's video, so that should be quite good.
I changed my background so I can play around. It's not Christmas Day, but I can play around with stuff, you know?
Yeah.
You know, cute stuff, you know, like this.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos.
Yeah, gets in the Christmas mood.
Hell yes.
The
Chuck says, my son has a
it's not,
heated
yeah,
driveway. Looks like it was not so much with deep ones.
light
Oh,
snows, but not the deep ones. Yeah, that's what that guy in Buffalo, New York said. That's why he went out there and snow blowed. Got it down to where you had like a half inch to an inch of snow is all that was on the driveway, and then that's what the what it had to melt off. He was saying that he's able to control the temperature that goes out to that driveway, how much heat he's putting through that system.
yeah.
And he said, but you're limited because you can't get it too hot because it's running off the same boiler that heats his house. So,
Oh, okay.
and he said, so they're nice, but they're also expensive to run because it's just like running your furnace.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to run the heat during the storm so it melts as it falls. Yeah.
Had a
I
little bit of snow here, but not much.
running water the other day when he saw all the snow out here and the mess and everything. He goes, now I know why people move to Florida or Texas. Yeah. That if they see snow, it might be once in a year, and it doesn't stay but a day. It's only there for maybe the day and it's gone. But here, yeah, from now until the end of March, that's what we're going to see out there is snow.
Yeah.
We get a lot of snow here.
Oh, Scott, don't be bar humbug. Christmas is Christmas. It's Christmas.
Yeah, bah humbug. Bah humbug. Yeah.
Christmas is a time to celebrate, and it's a time to see new things into the new year. It's a time to do resolutions and stuff. Like, I'm being very optimistic for next year. I'm going to try and get out and do some more vlogs and do some more community work, and I'm determined that next year is going to be better than this year. This year is pretty good, so next year's going to be even better.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a way to look at it, The
Scott.
Brown young virgin mother.
I wanted. I'm trying to find a specific one.
Better not shout, better not cry, better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees.
There. That one was for him. Bah humbug. You better not pout.
Oh, yes. Hey, Mojo.
Yeah. Christmas is for kids.
No,
Kids,
not
all
really.
holidays, New Year's. Yeah, for some people, yeah. For me,
Yeah,
up until just a
I
few years,
celebrate both. I
just a
celebrate
few
both.
years
Like
back.
Christmas, I celebrate New Year's too.
Yeah, it wasn't too many years ago. Christmas was a huge deal for us, and I made Christmas a blast at our house for the grown-ups and the kids. Yeah, New Year's, New Year's, everybody's tipping a few. Oh, we did that on Christmas too. After the kids are all put down, everybody's around playing cards. Drink a few. Yeah. The kids are all sleeping now. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I can't drink during Christmas or New Year's because I'm not allowed to have my system.
Right.
So I have to
Hey,
be on
Laurie,
soda.
Merry Christmas to you too. Yep. Yeah,
Hey, Shiva.
we're less than a week away.
Yep, I've actually got my Christmas bag of presents on my floor, which still haven't been wrapped yet. I'm like, ugh, still got to wrap them.
Everybody in my family knows they ain't getting nothing from Grandpa Sty. You got to come and see me. That's your Christmas present. You come and visit me. There. That's your Christmas present. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Doctors got all my money this year. They got a good Christmas because of me being sick. So they got your Christmas. If you're upset that I didn't get you something for Christmas, call my
Roman.
doctor. Roman, my bud. There he is.
Hey,
It's good to
Roman.
see
Good to
you,
see you, bud.
Roman. Yeah. The Yeah, it's so good to see Roman. I think of Roman a lot. The
Yeah, I haven't seen Roman in ages. How you doing, bud? It's good to see you, Roman.
Let's see here.
Mr.
Oh,
Shannonite
there.
says, on Christmas Day, Sty comes to me as my animal spirit and millipede.
A
Millipedes are
millipede.
ugly. Ugh.
Well, that ain't saying I'm so cute either, but I am a little cuter than a millipede.
Yeah, I was going to
Yeah,
say.
yeah. I mean,
That's insulting.
there's the link, folks. I'm going to take a good look at you in the basement, and if you aren't waving at me, and I know that it's you, you ain't coming up on this panel. the
Yeah, Sheba, I
oh,
had my autism support group Christmas party the other day, and we made our own Christmas cakes and stuff. So we was able to bring
neat.
home Christmas cakes for our family. So I did some for my dad and for my mum, and they were quite surprised how good my cooking was. They're like, "You've actually managed to make some decent cakes." I'm like, "Thanks." So I
Yeah,
was actually quite pleased with myself.
yeah, yeah. Nobody should complain if somebody's providing them with a goodie. Hey, look at
Yeah.
here. There he is. Hey, brother, it's good to see you, man.
Hi, it's good
God,
to
it's
see you
good to
too.
see you. Yeah. How's it going there, bro? Yeah,
Pretty good, pretty good. Just
You can't.
wondering
good.
why my garage door just mysteriously opened and now it's mysteriously closing again.
Yeah,
Something about automatic garage door openers, man. I'll tell you.
yeah, yeah. I had a 4-car garage with 2 power doors, and there's no crap. I'm sitting at my workbench out there, and all of a sudden the opposite door across the shop, it opens, and I'm going, well, the old lady's not even home, so there's nobody in the house. Why the hell did that garage door open? And then the damn thing starts to go up, it starts closing again. The other door, as that one's closing, the other door opens. It's like, oh, I'm a few seconds late, but I got to be in on this. And I was pissed. I was pissed. I bet you I spent 2 or 3 days playing with those doors, trying to figure out why they did that. And I was on my way to work one morning, and I pulled out and I closed the door. Just as I hit it, right across the street from me, that guy's door closes. So I stopped right at the end of my driveway and I pushed it to open my doors. There goes his, opens with mine. We got the exact same setting on our damn garage door openers.
What are the odds of that? Jesus.
No shit. I went and I talked to him and he was laughing. He goes, He says, you come and go a lot more than we do. And at that time, he was 20 years my senior. And he's like, I go out maybe once a day, but my garage door is opening 4 or 5 times. I said, oh, yeah, that's us in and out of our garage. Yeah, shit. So I was lucky. He said, I'll deal with it. And somehow he was able to get his set up so it was on a different frequency. And,
Yeah, this one. So if you're within like 3 miles of the house and you get in, you start your car because it's got a sensor in the car that's tied to Bluetooth, and
oh,
so what happened was my garage I had it partially open so the cigarette smoke could go out. So she must have started her car, and the garage door said, "Well, I think I'm closed, so I'm going to open." And then I went,
uh-huh.
"Well, she's in her car more than 350 feet away from the house, so no, the garage door's supposed to be closed." So then it closed it on me.
As
Does it
close
all the
as
time.
it.
At least it usually ends closed. Not, it
Yeah,
never ends open, so it doesn't
that
really
that
bother me that much. But
Yeah, that's the best. As long as it closes, that you know, and that was with the neighbor, and it was weird because both my garage doors open on a single signal. They both open and both close, and so when he'd hit his, I don't know if it was a signal delay or something, but it triggered one door, and the other door was 5 seconds behind it before it opened. So it was dumb.
Got a mind of its own.
As Scott saying his TV remote works on his neighbor's garage door. This is no crap. My brother, he gets home from Vietnam and from his wartime duties, and he wants to splurge, man. He buys the first colored TV we ever had in our house, and it's just mom and me and my one sister living at home, and he shows up. He buys this new color TV and it's got a remote. Well, the people on both sides of our house, they got bucks. They're well to do. Well, the one fella, he's a mean, ornery old bastard. Every time my brother would change channels on our TV, it would change his TV to whatever my brother's watching. There's a identical like a remote. It was funny. Sam, oh, there she is. There she is.
Sam.
Samantha.
Great to see you, sweetie. There's me, Dibble. Awesome. Boo.
Hey, me Dibble.
Yeah. Speaking of Samantha, I've been playing with these even because it's the week before Christmas. Yeah, you gotta play around with shit.
Round young virgin, mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace.
So Sam didn't know she was going to be on panel, did she?
Apparently not.
But my favorite clip that she did for me, I got like a dozen of them, but my favorite is this one.
I'm getting nothing for Christmas. Mommy and Daddy are mad. I'm getting nothing for Christmas, 'cause I have been nothing but bad.
That's Sam. That's Sam. Yeah, and look at her comments over there. Yeah.
Hey, Peppers.
Shoot that freaking person. No, Sam. I tell you what, those clips of you, girl, are my treasure, man. They are in my little treasure. I actually got all those clips saved on 3 different hard drives. There ain't no freaking way that I'll ever lose those, man. Ever.
Her little tail swinging around. That was
that tail.
That was the kicker for me.
That's Sam all over, boy. I loved it. Hey there, Peppers. Yeah, good to see you, Peppers.
Sure.
Yeah, Sam. Yeah, we haven't connected for a while. Yeah, this week. I wasn't supposed to have my son home till next week. He was going to be home for 2 weeks over Christmas and leave right after New Year's on the 4th of January. He showed up this last week. He sent me a message and he says, I'm going to be home today. I go, the hell I thank God I didn't message it to him. The hell you are, you son of a bitch. I only got half the place snow blown out. I don't have the driveway done. That both trucks are snowed in. The frickin' snowblower broke down, and what I got to fix on it, I got to tear the bitch in half. I got to tear the goddamn thing almost totally apart. Don't replace belts on them damn snowblowers. Just go buy a new snowblower. That's a son of a bitch. Piss poor job to do.
Seriously?
Yeah, that sucker's sitting out
For
there.
a belt? For a belt?
For a belt, you got to tear the whole blower in half to get into the casing where the belt pulleys are, and it's a mess. Hey, Dr. Smith, good to see you. The I tell you what, I have not. I really refreshed my ability to cuss and swear during that process, man. Freaking bloody knuckles
Of
and
course.
wounds, a lot of knuckle breaker work, and then you can't find a belt for the snowblower we got. Nobody's got one. So I'm in there sizing it up to other belts to try to find one for some different rig to fit on there. And I got one that's same size, put it on there, and it's just too damn loose. The tensioner, you can't, it's because it's got a tensioner. When you
Right.
engage it, it pushes the tensioner against the belt. Well, it doesn't push it enough to really get any traction. So I got to figure that shit out. There's no way to adjust that damn tensioner. And so it's a bad design is what it is. It's just a bad design. But I got it all back together, except I don't have the chute on it yet. I don't have the belt. There's a belt area cover that goes. I don't know why they even got that fucking cover, because you got to take the chute off to get the cover off. That's 6 bolts to get the chute off, 2 bolts to take the cover off to see if the belt is busted. And that's all you can do, because you can't replace it through that cover. And it's just a nightmare. It pissed me off. So it's sitting out there. I got about a half hour of wrenching to get it back together. And it's good to see you, Justin.
Yeah, it was my buddy he's dead now, but he had a Dyna Wide Glide, and he's like, yeah, can you come help me change the belt? I'm like, yeah, belt, piece of cake, drop the back tire, wiggle it out, No. The swing arm had to come off. The primary had to come off. I had to take off all the primary gears. And then I'm like, well, we may as well rebuild the whole front end of your engine at this point. So I rebuilt the whole front end of his motor. And it was like, with me doing all the labor, it was still probably $400 in just parts, $600 in parts, something like that.
I can't imagine was going to be a simple change out.
Yeah, I was like, it'll be 2 hours tops. No.
Well, I found out a buddy of mine is retired now. He's a GM master mechanic, been for ages, but he's got at home. He's got an 8-stall garage. He's got a pit and a hoist and everything there. He did on weekends. He did more. He made more money out of his own shop at home than he made working at the garage, for GM. But we travel to him, and I go, son of a bitch. I said, you're not going to like to hear this, Bill, but I got a water pump went out on my damn van just as we were pulling into town here. He goes, what is your van? And I go, it's a Chrysler minivan. Oh, son of a bitch, he said. I said, oh, don't worry about it. I'll run into Napa, grab a water pump. I'll throw it in your garage while we're here visiting. He goes, no, you won't. I'll be doing the work. And I go, what do you mean? He says, I got to drop half your front end. I got to stick a motor mount and jack that engine up off of the mount to get it to where we can even get to that water pump.
Right.
And he said, he says, by the book, he said it's a 3.5 hour job for that water pump. He said, because we're going to be out there drinking beer, we're looking at a 5-hour job, man. And he wasn't shitting. We started at noon, and they're yelling at us, aren't you done out there? It's dinner time. we're almost done. Shit, we probably each drank a case of beer. Just because of frustration to put a water pump in the damn thing.
Yeah.
And he said the same thing. He said, we got this sucker tore so far apart. He said, we should be looking at what we should replace while we got her tore down. I said, no, just put it back together. I'm selling the son of a bitch when I get home. Before it ever breaks down again. He said
I'm gonna sell it. The whole front end is brand new. I lost the receipts, but everything's brand new.
That's it. I can, and he even helped me out there, man. He He power washed, cleaned everything under the front end, made it all cleaned up.
Brand
got,
new.
got in the engine compartment, made it all cleaner. That he says, yeah, I'm prepping it like we're going to put it on the Chevy lot, for a used vehicle. I got to look new under there. He even got out the old rattle cans and touched up some paint. Yeah.
Brand new.
Brandon, look at the work they did in the front end of that son of a bitch, boy. You ought to give me that $2,500 for that fucking $500 piece of shit.
Rebuild, forged cans. It's ready to go.
That's nuts. That's it. I'm so freaking old and old school. I was looking for an old retro pickup truck that I could hot rod. I wanted to hot rod it like a Chevy half-ton or something. And I just wasn't finding nothing. And then finally some guy said, hey, there's an awesome, beautiful 57 Chevy half-ton step side that a guy's selling at that used car lot over at such a town, maybe about 30 miles from where I live. And he says, you won't believe what he's asking for it. I said, what? And he goes, he'll take $400 for it. I said, it's got to be full of cancer. It's all rusted out. He goes, no, solid body. You ain't going to believe it. It's solid body. Interior, pristine. Doesn't run the best, but we'll bring it home, pull the motor out, and we'll rebuild it. Had a 235 straight line 6-banger in it. I built about 5 of them fuckers. Hell, the last one I had in a 55 Chev step side, that son of a bitch was an ass ripper, boy. That 235 long stroke with a 6-pack on it, boy, that sucker cranked out. Especially the guy that bought that truck from me pulled that straight line 6 with the 6-pack in it and dropped it in his 57 Corvette. And he said, yeah, try to keep up with that little bastard now. Mr. Briggs, can you flap your hand in front of your screen for me? Awesome. Because I can't see you. There, I can see you. You're muted. Oh, he dropped.
Oh, he's gone.
He picked his headphones up, and it dropped us. He'll pop back. He'll pop back. But yeah, I like them old days, but I decided I wasn't going to buy that truck. Well, another buddy of mine, he jumped on it. He bought it, got it home, and we're going to rebuild that motor, right? He said it runs like hell. Got it home. I'm underneath that son of a bitch. We're going to thinking we can get away with an in-frame rebuild. And I dropped the oil pan on that son of a bitch. I opened the oil plug. It took forever for the oil to dry out of it. I couldn't figure it out. And the oil had all kinds of crap in it. I dropped that oil pan. That freaking oil pan was half full of fucking sawdust. Well, that sawdust holds the oil, so it's not leaking out of the rear main because the rear main was totally gone. I mean, so that when you pull that dipstick in the used car lot, it's got oil on it. Yeah, you sons of bitches. Cheaters. Mr. Briggs is trying again here. There he is. But we're not hearing him. No audio. No. Yeah. We'll let him try to figure out his technical difficulties. That's why I didn't stream last weekend, because we had a few. I had some computer issues here at the studio. I said, I ain't going to get this shit done before the stream. I got to cancel, man. Oh, we got it squared away. My boy and I, we each got PS5s now, PlayStation 5s. Well, we got excellent Wi-Fi here.
Excellent.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Mr. Briggs, make sure to mute YouTube because you'll get an echo.
Yeah, you can mute the YouTube section.
Your microphone's muted though.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah.
I got two of these things. One has a dead battery, one doesn't.
Oh, yeah. That's, yeah. Technical difficulties. We were just talking about that. And so my boy and I, we each have PlayStation 5s now over in the living room. Well, our modem and router are here in the studio. And it's about 20 feet to the first PS5 and another 10 feet to the second one. Well, we got some high-end cat cable, and we got this sweet fucking strip that those cables run through that transition from this room into our living room, so you're not tripping over cable. You don't have to hide it under the carpet or shit. And we got to run all those cables from here to there. So I'm dicking around in the studio trying to move things around to make accessibility good for hooking these cables up. Yeah. You shouldn't start unplugging shit without knowing what the hell you're unplugging, you know. That's what tape and a pen is for. Throw a little tab of tape on and go, camera, microphone, printer.
Yeah, label everything.
This hard drive, that hard drive, because I got multiple hard drives hooked up to the core system for the studio. I got this damn hard drive. I love the damn thing. What the hell do they even call that thing? A MyBook? It's an 8 terabyte external hard drive, and it's great, man. It runs fast, it burns quick and clean. I don't have any problems, you know, no corruption, nothing, except I cannot boot my computer. And I've gone in and checked to make sure that everything's it's all set up. It's supposed to boot right off of off the C drive, right out of the computer. But it doesn't matter. If I turn that hard drive on and try to boot my computer, it just freezes. And just sits there and sits there and sits there. And you can hear that hard drive run. It's trying to boot off that hard drive. But I got a quick toggle on it. So I just make sure to shut the hard drive off, boot up, turn the hard drive on, and everything's good. Then I got accessibility. But again, you got to tag that shit because they're all 3.0 USBs. And I've got, in my studio, I've got 15 3.0 USBs running through hubs. I mean, it's insane. I got so many USBs run. And that doesn't count some of the shit that's, you know, running through coaxial, and it doesn't count my studio sound mixer, any of that cabling. So yeah, cabling's an insane nightmare with these studios. The studios look so nice when they're done. Just don't look behind or under the son of a bitch. No, it's spider web.
Yeah, because then at some point you got to clean that shit out, and then you got to tear all that stuff apart, all back together again.
Yep, and try to remember how you routed it the first time. I mean, it's a nightmare. Where the hell did this one? And we got those wraps for cabling wraps, the big long tube, they're like cloth, you know, with a slit in them. So it's all the cabling now is tubed out of the way. You're not going to catch it with a foot or anything. But where those tubes terminate and then the wires come out and go into their hubs or into the power sources, that's a clusterfuck, you know. It's just like, what's that ball of shit at the end of that big, looks like one big cable, but oh no, look at the other end of that son of a bitch. Yeah.
Hey, I gotta jump down, guys. It was great seeing you. I just wanted to pop in and say hi.
Okay, Ren, take care.
Thank you. I hope I see you soon.
You bet. You take very good care of yourself.
You as well, and your family. Bye,
You
guys.
bet. Love you, buddy.
Take
Bye
care,
bye.
Roman.
Justin says, you didn't get any snow there, did you, Sty? Look at that shit. That's live. That's live out the front window of my house, our house here. Yeah.
Looks good there.
Yeah. Snowy. It's snowy. our last snowstorm, we got a good foot of snow, but it was so wet and heavy. Oh my God! Just about killed the snowblower.
What kind of snowboard you got that would kill it?
What's that?
What kind of snowblower you got that's going to kill it?
Yeah, it's a Yard Max 22-inch with a 196cc motor on it. You know, it has plenty of power if the snow, you know, if it's normal snow. This is, I mean, you can pick this
What
snow
gear
up.
were you running in?
First gear. What it is it's the auger. It's the auger belt. The way they designed the damn thing, that factory spec auger belt is about a quarter. Well, I'd say about a half inch too large, because the tensioner just doesn't put enough tension on it.
Because you bought an aftermarket belt. You cannot use aftermarket belts on those
No.
snowblowers.
No,
Because
I didn't. I bought Yard Max's belt.
Yard Max is out of business.
Yeah.
They were taken over by MTD.
This is new old stock that I got from TS, the Tractor Supply Company, TSC.
Yeah,
I went
they
over
lied
there.
to you because Tractor Supply don't sell the original. You got to go to an MTD dealer and buy an MTD belt. They are different.
Okay,
Believe it or
I'm not
not.
going to argue with you about it, Mr. Briggs. I'm not going to argue with you about it. You can hold that belt right up to the original. It's the same fucking belt. It's got the same
I
number
know.
on it. And it's
No,
got
I'm not. No, I'm not. I know what you're saying, but they
And-
changed the
and-
design
and
a little bit.
the change the design of what? The belt?
Yeah, because I'm serious. I mean, I got 8 snowblowers, so I'm real
Oh,
familiar with.
I've had many in my lifetime too.
They changed the width of the belt. The factory belt on those were not a true V belt. They're like
No,
a shaped
they're like
edge.
a half. They're like a half V.
Yep.
They only got about a 30-degree angle, but then the whole bottom end of it's flat. It's not a.
See, if
It's
you
not
go
a
online,
true V.
You go online and look up that model, and it'll tell you the size belt. If I could get on my
That's what I
it'll
did.
tell you the exact dimensions. Okay, so what you do is then you go up the Tractor Supply, and you buy their blue belt. They got that blue belt up there. They got up at Tractor Supply,
Yeah,
and you
those
buy
are
a
the
quarter
Kevlar.
inch smaller.
Those are the Kevlar belts.
Yes, you buy one of those, and before you put it on, you take it to a take a belt sander and shave the edges real fast, both sides. It'll fit like a glove.
Huh.
That's all. That's all you have to do.
See, I was trying to find one size-wise. That
No.
would
You get
would
one
just-
that looks it's actually smaller. They'll actually look a little smaller. Shave the sides of the belt down with one of the Kevlars. They'll fit better. The blue ones. You sand it, in other words.
I couldn't find one of the blue ones small enough, the same diameter as the existing
Yeah, I know what
belt.
you're saying.
There's none
You wanna-
even close. They're an inch and a half, 2 inches larger. They would never
You
fucking
got,
work.
what parts stores you got near you? Car parts.
Napa, O'Reilly's, or is O'Reilly's?
Oh, you got an O'Reilly. That's even better. Go to one of them and tell them and match it up with an automotive V belt. They'll work, but they actually last longer.
That would, yeah. You know, and I was thinking of one of the auto supply houses would be the next.
Because
step, you know?
Because if you think about it, a car runs at a higher RPM than a snowblower ever thought of running.
Right. Yeah, that the RPM of the snowblower is nothing compared to running something an auxiliary add-on on a car. You know,
I don't know if it's something with Mr. Briggs's audio, but there's a really bad echo coming from his.
Oh, are you getting an echo? Because I'm not hearing it.
It's like a loud echo. It sounds like he's like every time he speaks. It sounds like he's like crunching. It's like a.
Huh.
No, what you are hearing is my dogs ruling. You know, this thing right here.
Oh, jeez.
because she knows she's getting her share of this cottage cheese that I'm devouring.
Oh.
And what you are probably hearing is my dentures clicking.
Oh, okay. No worries.
Oh my gosh, Nibble! It's been a long time.
Oh,
It's
good
good
to
to
see Nibble.
see you,
Your stream was
Nibble.
awesome earlier. He did a really nice stream earlier. He showed us around one of the local ports, and we got to see all the river and all the boats and things.
Oh
It was
wow,
really nice.
neat.
It's
I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to go over and check out, take a look at it. Yeah.
that's
It's really pretty.
$45,000 of nice implants you're looking at.
Oh. Yeah. I had thought about implants, but with all of the surgeries I've been through, I don't want them doing nothing. But
There you go, dog.
oh,
There's your share.
yeah,
I
that
don't blame
Justin was saying it was the snow. And the thing is what, because of the wet, heavy snow, and because the factory belts on that thing, it's shit to start with. All the that heavy, wet crap.
Oh yeah, but
All it did was burn the belt up. It's all it did.
now you got an impeller kit in your snowblower?
Oh no.
You know what an impeller kit is?
Yeah, it's the little rubber straps you put on the tips of the auger.
Yeah, actually a mud flap will work. You make your own out of a
Yeah,
mud
you
flap.
can make your own. You make your own out of the sidewalls of tires, even. Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on snow. They're a little too hard. I like mud flaps, and if you take a snowblower and then you put those in, you spray the thing with fluid film. Good for your cars too. Spray fluid film on, it'll make it blow out. I don't care what kind of snow. I got an errand.
Bullshit, Mr. Briggs. I tell you what, I had a guy out here with a fucking big ass 32-inch errands with an 18 fucking horse on it, and he couldn't fucking blow that snow.
Because he didn't have the impeller kit. You had the impeller kit.
Oh,
you spray
bullshit.
fluid film.
Bullshit. No, bullshit. That's bullshit. I had a fucking Toro with an impeller kit on it. The guy that I bought it from put an impeller kit on it, and it blew better. It kept it clean at the throat, but it didn't solve any problem up the chute. And this
You need both. Fluid film.
Yeah.
Saying.
Yeah. I tell you what. I tell you what. Don't be argumentative with us on here. That's not what we're here for.
I'm not arguing.
What's that?
Pante's Performance told me about it.
It
works.
Yeah, the big blowers on the trucks. That here, my son was just reminding me. Bayfield County up here, they got the big ass front mounted blowers on their road trucks, right? Those sons of bitches.
Mm-hmm.
I ran one of those. I did 9 miles of a compound with one of those. You could catch a goddamn cow in that son of a bitch. They're gonna blow it out the chute. They had two of them. They had 2 of them load up and block up. They had to shut them down for over an hour to just dig that compacted fucking ice out of them. That's the conditions we got. And I don't give a shit if you got an impeller kit. I don't care if you got a jet engine on the son of a bitch. The snow conditions here, there ain't a snow blower built that's working worth a damn out here in this shit. And I'm tempted to get this on the phone, and I'll just walk down the street, knock on a few of my neighbors' doors, and have them tell you that. I mean, they're running $2,500, $3,000 fucking snow blowers, and they got them parked and they hand shoveled. That's the conditions we got, and you can't song and dance somebody that's seeing it and tell them, but if you do it my way, you won't have a problem. That's bullshit. You know that. Come on. I'm not going to lie to you.
No, I'm not saying. No, never. I'm down there, Scott. You got. I'm down. No, I'm just saying. You ever heard of Pante's Performance?
No.
There's a YouTube channel called Pate's Performance, just how it sounds. He modifies snowblowers. He gave me the idea. He lives in Long Island, New York. And he buys and sells flips. And he's literally does what I've done. He showed me what to do. You put in this impeller kit. You spray it with fluid film. Fluid film is it's a laminin-based lubricant.
Yep.
It's actually a rust inhibitor is what it is. But
that's
it's actually great.
That's what it's truly intended for.
Yep. And he did a video where he went through snow, a foot deep, wet, slushy snow, that northeaster they got last year. And he went through it with a 8 horsepower modified snowblower that went through it and threw the snow 25 feet in the air. I mean, it's amazing.
All right.
Look at that video.
Yeah, you can look at the video, but you can't tell the snow content and its quality on a fucking video. You can't. You just can't. And I watch all these bushcrafters out there saying, "Watch me do this with this new devised tool," and then you take and do the exact same thing, and you actually put it to actual practical use, and you go, "Well, then why the fuck don't it work for me?" Then you find out, yeah, the conditions aren't the same. They aren't the same. There's too many variables, and the
I've seen it. I know the kind of snow. We got a wet storm too. We got the same storm, only we got like 5 or 6 inches of it. We didn't get as much.
This shit. In fact, on my sidewalk out here between us and the neighbor, we got a long low spot. I hit that son of a bitch and I backed out. Said, "Ain't doing it." I ain't even trying to shovel that shit because you had literally 4 inches of water mixed with it was slush. And then you had 8 to 10 inches of wet, heavy packed snow on top of it. And all it did was, because the temperature, once it snowed, that wet, heavy shit, the temperature started dropping. And as you were snow blowing, that fucking shit was freezing all over everything. And it would freeze upon itself. Yeah. I mean, no.
Look at it this way. When everything finally hits electric, look at all the fun we're going to have then.
Yeah.
You might we
got one of those electric snow slappers out here on the porch.
Yeah.
I use that fucker for sweeping the porch. That's it. Sweep the porch with that something, but don't try to snowblow your sidewalks with that fucker. You might as well. It's a lot less work with a shovel.
Now, they have their place, is what I tell people. They have their place. Like my neighbor's got a 2-stage Toro electric snowblower with the 60 amp battery. Okay.
Yeah.
And their driveway is about the size of my living room, and their sidewalk's maybe 50 feet long.
Yeah.
Guess what? It works perfect for her. It's an elderly woman. She can't start it. And, she goes out there. I was actually impressed how it'll throw snow as good as a gas it only runs for about 45 minutes. It's out of power. It takes her 20 minutes to do her old driveway. So, for someone like her, it's great.
Well, see, that's the thing is, it's like I told my boy, that electric one we got, I don't even remember the make of it. I used that this year for the first snowstorm, but we only got 2 inches of snow, about 2 inches. And it was dry snow. It wasn't wet shit. And I'm out there with 150 feet of cord on the sidewalks. It's quiet. You don't have to refuel it, and it blows the snow about 10 feet, but only a couple inches. You start getting 4 inches of snow. Now you got an issue. Now you're walking slow behind that son of a bitch, slowly, just push it. But it would be perfect for someone. They ain't got nothing better to do but then sit here and look out the window and say, "Oh yeah, we got 8 inches of snow coming, and it's at about 2 inches. So I got to run out there electric snowblow that now, and then when it hits 2 inches again, I'll snowblow that again. Then when it hits 2 inches, so you're up for the next 24 hours snowblowing every time it reaches 2 inches of snow and shit, And yeah, go totally electric. I tell you, I had one neighbor in the other house I lived in. That son of a bitch. He's out there with the big backpack leaf blower. They're fucking blowing that snow out to the street down his damn sidewalk. as long as it's the dry snow. I mean, it worked like $1,000,000. I told him, you sly little bastard, using a leaf blower to do your sidewalks. That was so
Oh,
funny.
I do that. I do that
Yep.
with my handheld. It's like the only thing that irks me more than anything is these people that'll take their snowblower, the plow comes through, and they'll be blowing the end of my neighbor that across the street. He was blowing his snow from the end of his driveway right out in the street, and I asked him, "What the hell are you doing?" He says,
After the plow
snow."
went,
Yep, and I said, "Why are you plowing it out to the street, blowing it to the street?" He says, "Because they need to stop blowing in the end of driveways." Okay.
Why?
I said, "I want you to explain to me how they're supposed to go down the street without plowing in the end of your driveways. Lift it. They're going to if they lift the plow, you friggin' idiot, you'd have 16 inches or whatever the snow is in front of your house.
Yeah.
How are you supposed to do it?" They said
now,
they could angle it towards the middle. This guy actually, his logic is instead of making two passes, one from the middle to the right, and the middle, and then coming up the middle to the left side. They said they could plow the sides with the plows facing the middle of the street, and they like go like a V, like this sort of. They plow from the edge to the middle of the street, and then come back up the sides and push it down.
well, then they end up with that big snow pile at the end of the block, and they better have a goddamn.
They end up with
Then they better have a blower and a dump truck waiting down there to get it out of the road. See, that's what they do downtown Ashland here is snow emergency. We're going to get over, I think it's over 2 inches. You're not allowed to park on Main. And they run down left and right curbside. And it's all shot to the center.
Yeah, but even doing that, they still get some on the side.
You get some, but not as much. And they do that because it's all sidewalk and businesses, right? And it's all going to the center of the street, down the center. Then they come along with the big fucking blower on the goddamn front end loader with the big shooting over in the guy's back into the dump truck. And there they go. They eat all that shit up and haul it away because otherwise, if they were to push it somewhere, they're going to end up with a mountain of snow somewhere to have to manage, and they're going to end up blocking 4 streets for half a day. It's
what the problem with that would be though? If they did that to every street in even my town, it's a snowstorm that will cost $5,000, we'll say, to clear, would cost $40,000 to clear.
Yeah. See,
and they say they're all right with that, and I said, but I'm not all right with that. I'm not all right with it because you're lazy and don't want to blow out your driveway. And I turned them in because the snow he was blowing out in the street was across from my driveway, and I have to drive through it. So I don't give a damn. I do give a damn. I don't want to drive across it. It's against the law to throw it in the street.
Well,
take care of it, put it on the side.
Well, for crying out loud, you got a snowblower with a chute on it. Aim the chute onto the damn snowbank adjacent to your goddamn driveway. It's so simple. Hey, he's back. He's back.
What is going on here? We got Briggs and Stratton in the house. We're talking about snow blowers.
Yeah.
I got the best snow blower out of all you guys.
What's her name?
It's called a shovel.
I was going to say, what's her name?
Right? That too.
Now we're talking snow blowers. We're talking snow blowers right now. You got to remember how old this boy is. I'll never forget. 1965. My dad come home. He told us, "Oh man, I got to run down to the hardware store. I got something really important to do." He says, "I'm pissed, man. We can't even get to the house with the squad car." He says, "I'm parking out on the damn street." He says, "I'm going to take care of that today. I'm heading to the hardware store, and my brother and I are out there trying to shovel our fucking sidewalks." In our house, we had these 2 sidewalks, about 250 feet to these 2 cottages that we had people living in. So we had to shovel those sidewalks. That's first thing. Shovel the sidewalks from the main house to the cottages. Then we got to do the big driveway. Well, Dad's on his way to the hardware store. He's going to take care of that problem. We got 1.5 feet of snow in the damn driveway, and we're out there trying to hand shovel that shit with crappy ass snow shovels. I mean, they're just wore out.
Let me best. He bought a new snowblower.
So he comes home and he says, "Hey boys, you're going to be happy. you're going to want to go look in the trunk of the squad car. I said, why, Dad? He goes, I got us a new couple of, I got a couple new tools, and there's a new snow thrower in that goddamn trunk that you're going to love. Grabbed his car keys, run for that car, pop that trunk, and there's a brand new fucking shovel in the trunk.
Hey,
And I go, that ain't no snow blower, Dad. The guy down the street's got one of them snow blowers, and that ain't no snow blower. He says, I didn't say blower, I said thrower. Oh, you rotten son of a bitch. I mean, yeah. Snow blowers, I didn't get any of those till I was an adult.
I had one when I was 12 years old. I was
Love you,
making
Rogers.
money
Good
hand
to
over
see
fist.
you.
I could have made a ton of money if I would have had one back in those days.
I bought one.
They were just
That's a good
prohibitive.
idea.
Yeah. But Mr. Briggs, how
Is
old
it
are
possible
you?
Mr. Briggs could those audio?
When I was a kid,
He's
you weren't
audio.
buying a snowblower at 12 years old.
I bought one when I was 13.
Yeah.
But I was shoveling sidewalks before that, and
I had a
mowing
lawn
lawns in the summer.
I had a lawn service at the age of 12, and I was making about $14,000 a year in 1970 as a kid. Maintaining.
Oh, I filled out. I had to fill out income tax when I was 12, 13 years old from the amount of money I made cutting grass, and I cut grass.
So did I.
Mowed lawn. I cleaned out gutters, driveway sealing, painting garages. You
did whatever you could do to make a buck.
I was greedy.
I was into catching the money. Hey, Roy and Becky, by the way, I got to say hello to them. That's great to see ya. I sold our snowblower to the daughter and went to the desert. Yep, they live in the desert, man. They get away from this shit. And me and the boy, we talked about that the other night. Yeah. Now we know why everybody's moving to Texas and Florida. I got family down in Texas. We flew them up one year for a Christmas gathering, but we wanted there to be like a big family reunion. And they had this little boy, my cousin's oldest boy, and he was, I believe, 7 or 8 years old at the time. They fly up here from Austin, Texas to Minneapolis, get off the airplane. Well, they never left the airport. You go through the airport, out into the parking garage. They got in a vehicle. I was there, picked them up, took them out to the house. That kid's looking at all that snow, and he goes, "What is that?" He had never seen snow in his whole life. And I said, "That's snow, dummy." He goes, "Snow." And he sees these kids out there playing in it and shit. Oh, man, I can't wait till we get to your house. We got to the house. The car door flew open, and that 7-year-old kid wearing a pair of goddamn short pants and tennis shoes and a T-shirt flies out of that warm car, runs to the snowbank, which is only about 6 feet from the car, and nosedives into the son of a bitch. We couldn't get that little bastard outside of the house the rest of the week. He wouldn't even go out the door. He sat in that house with 3 blankets on him and layers of clothes, just shivering. He goes, "You people are crazy. Why would you live here? This is insane." And that kid now is like 40 years old. He will not. If it snows in Texas, he won't go outdoors until it's gone. I mean, yeah. No, you need to go out there and clean the sidewalk. No, I ain't going out there. He's still.
I'm moving to Florida. I do outside my snowboard. You love my snowboard. Got areas.
Oh, your microphone's cutting out. Only getting about every third word. About every third word. Yeah.
How's that? And better?
Me dibble. You're right, because you know what they do here is all of the snow from the city.
Now.
All the snow from the there. That's good. All the snow from the city, they load up into dump trucks. They haul it down, and it gets dumped on one of our old piers, our old iron ore piers. It gets all dumped out there. They start towards the end and work towards shore. And by the end of the season, you got snow because they're out there with front end loaders pushing it up, and you have snow piles that are close to 40 feet high, all the way from the end of this 600-foot pier all the way to shore. And then usually by the second or third week of May, it's finally melted off of that pier. It's all going back to Lake Superior. That's where it ends up anyway. People say,
yeah.
oh, you can't do that because of the salt and chemicals in it. Where do you think it ends up anyway? It melts along the street, goes down the storm drain, and right out to Lake Superior, you morons. It's been doing that for the last 80 years. What the, and now you can't put it on the pier? Dummies.
People are ignorant.
Yeah, they just don't get it. Hey, Kathy Bates.
Yeah, you would like my snowboard, 12 horsepower, 36-inch air ends with the snow cab on it, with remote steering and heated grips, and and the wiper that goes across.
My last errands, I love that sucker, man. I just walk out there to the garage, hit the starter, out the door. And that son of a bitch had enough tank capacity. I could do the whole place, man. And we had I had a 4-car garage, big parking area, long driveway, shitload of sidewalks, in a big area. I had the snow blower around the hot tub. And that the only problem was that there was a house about 25, 30 feet along the one side of the property line, but that's where the driveway was. And that's my first winter in that house. God damn, it cost me some money. I think it was like $380 for the busted windows on that house.
I bought that snowboard 27 years ago, and when I bought it, I was still doing driveways at the time. My father modified it. I still had the factory fuel tank, but I took the gas tank lid, gas cap, drilled a hole in it, epoxied a fuel line going into it. Then he took a 5-gallon safety can. Remember the metal safety can? I made two brackets and put a shelf above the engine to hold the safety can, and then he welded a nipple on it.
So you could turn it on and off. Yeah.
Yep.
Sweet.
I fill that, so the factory tank's a gallon, and that tank holds 5 gallons. I fill that, so there's 6 gallons of run time, and it'll run almost 18 hours when you fill them both up. It's enough for the entire winter.
See, I had an old 1946 Willys Jeep, and it had the jerry can mounts on by the tailgate, and I had 2 jerry cans on it. Both those jerry cans
JCT
were tubed to the main tank with spigots on them, and I ran out of gas one time. Buddy was riding with me, and he goes, "Well, I'll grab one of the jerry cans." I said, "You ain't getting that off the frame. That son of a bitch is tack welded to it." He goes, "What?" I said, "No, just reach under the jerry can on your side, and there's a spigot. Just open it up." I said, and we just give it 2-3 minutes, and it'll feed the main tank. It'll fill the main tank up for us. It'll drop the 6 gallons of gas in that main tank. He says, "What the hell?" I said, "The jerry can on the driver's side, same way, all connected to the main tank. I don't want to have to stand out there with a frickin' jerry can and try to pour gas in the tank. No, I'd rather just go turn on a spigot, and then when I go to the gas station, I fill my main tank and fill the 2 jerry cans. I'm good to go." Yeah.
Yep.
He goes, "But what if He said, "What do you do if you run out of gas in the jerry cans?" I said, "You fucking moron." I said, "With the amount of gas in the main tank and the 2 jerry cans, you run out of gas with that little flathead 4-banger. I don't know where the hell you're driving to that you couldn't stop and top them off." I mean, God almighty, man. I would drive for 4 days in the backcountry with that Jeep and come down still have a full jerry can, Yeah. What do you do if you run out of gas in the jerry can? Well, get a little common sense, dope.
So
Put gas-
why do they call it a jerry can?
You know, I really
Question.
don't know, but we've called them jerry cans since the 1960s.
The jerry rig, same thing, right?
No,
It's kind of, I don't know. I don't know if
No.
it's like a similar name.
I,
You know,
Kathy
yeah.
Bates, yeah.
what I understand from my military family is that they were coined that during World War II.
Mhm.
Probably.
But why? I don't really know. It's a nickname that stuck.
Yeah, I know a lot of those old school names, right?
Yeah.
You know,
There's a reason, because every one of them have a reason, and it's just like it's kind of cool when you look it up and then.
And you go, what the heck?
What,
Really? Yeah. It's a curiosity. Sometimes if you look up certain names, and you just like, oh, that's where it came from. What the hell?
Jerry's were slur slang for German.
Kathy says hello
Right,
to you, Mojo.
right. That's what I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah. That Running Water just told me he looked it up, and what it does is Jerry it's a slang for the Germans in World War II, and they called the Germans Jerry's, and I got a gut feeling that was probably during the tank campaign with Patton, because they had raided some German supply depots to fuel their tanks, and they took the German cans and hauled that fuel to their tanks in those jerry cans. So that's probably how they coined that phrase.
Yeah.
Was because our gas cans were of the same design. It was amazing how many German military components were identical to ours.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
And it's because we once upon a time got along. Yeah.
It's just like the Dodge brothers used to work for Ford Motor Company. Most people don't realize.
Right,
You might as well say the Model
right.
T was a Dodge engine.
Well, yeah, but no, it was
They designed
owned. They designed it, but it was owned by Ford. Come on. I love that. Okay, they became the Dodge Brothers Motor Company, and they designed the Model T engine for Ford, not for Dodge.
No,
Chrysler.
yeah, but
So-
what was fun? Well, it wasn't Dodge Chrysler, because the Chrysler brothers were two separate people.
But they joined.
Oh yeah, but what's
you know.
but what's funny is though, if you look at the original Dodges when they first started their own company, they looked a lot like the Model T. They stole a lot of ideas in the motors.
Oh, sure,
That's why
sure.
back then they said they were practically interchangeable.
Well, people don't realize either. Halfway through the Civil War is when Ford Motor Company broke off their relationship with Volkswagen, because they
You mean
realized.
World War II, not Civil War.
Yeah, World War II. Did I say Civil War? I made
I
you.
don't think
I
Henry
made
was
you
around
myself.
much.
Mojo walking stick.
Really cool.
That's
My
sweet.
buddy did. He his dad made it for me. Little ladybug right there.
Awesome.
Oh, I just saw that he even stamped it on here. Wow. And alligators and spiders and
Neat.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah. I
That's
got
pretty
it.
cool.
Come spring, and I can get to my walking stick supply. I got to get one put together for Native Grammy. I've been promising her one for the last 2 years.
Oh boy, you better get her one.
We'll take a look at my last 2 years.
Oh, has it been a little rough the last 2 years?
Just
Oh,
a little,
boy.
a little
A
freaking
little
rough.
bit. We sit here and we whine about little things at work and whine that, we're sick for a couple days. Try not eating for an entire year and a half or whatever it's been.
Yeah.
And being fed a feeding tube. And
What they want me to talk to this cancer support group, these people that are diagnosed with it and they don't know what to expect, what's coming their way, what's going to happen. And so I went and talked once, and they keep inviting me to come back because they said it had such a great impact on these people. I said, oh, I thought I ruined things for a lot of people. And they said, no, you're the first person that's actually just been truthful to them. And all I said to them was, all right, you've been diagnosed. Do they have a cancer plan for you? If they do, follow it.
Yeah.
You're not going to, and I told them, follow it. They may be able to cure you. We are advanced enough now that a lot of cancers can be cured. And I'm living proof of it. I had a very serious ass cancer, and I am cured. Now, I told them, however, the cure comes with a price. And I said, and I don't mean money. It'll probably cost you $1 million to cure it. It's only money. Yeah. But the price is your misery and your sanity is going to be to the point where you want to die. You will be begging to die before you're done.
You will be tested.
But then all of a sudden, the day will come when you go, I'm just a little bit better than I was yesterday. And then the day after that, I'm a little bit better than I was yesterday. Every day, all of a sudden you see, I'm getting a little bit better. They said I'm cancer-free now, but I feel sicker than shit, but I'm getting a little bit better. And before you know it, all of a sudden you're going, I'm starting to feel like myself again. And all of a sudden you're back, like I am now. I feel I'm back. I'm not 100%, but I'm back. And so I told these people, don't let they want you to feel good about things all the time. They're not going to tell you how miserable you're going to be. They told me, oh, this is going to go okay. Your chemo and your radiation, you'll have a few side effects, but we'll manage that. We'll make sure you don't feel any pain or anything. Well, I was lucky. My chemo didn't affect me at all, except I had the hair loss and I lost most of my beard. But you go back and look at my videos and can see the change. But I didn't have the nausea or the diarrhea. Or
you were lucky that way.
I didn't have all those symptoms. Yeah, I was very lucky, very lucky. But the radiation, on the other hand, really effed me up, man. I was so sick from the radiation. I had internal radiation burn to the point where they were almost going to stop it because it was starting to damage healthy tissue. But they said, we only got a couple more weeks of radiation. Let's finish. And I said, okay, let's go for it. I was miserable. Then they said, guess what? You get to take a month. We're doing nothing to you. We want you to recover from that chemo and radiation. And at the end of the month, you're going to go to the Mayo and they're going to put you in surgery and they're going to remove that cancer. And right now it looks like about a 60 to 80% positive that they're going to be able to get it all. So it's good. You got to look forward to going to the Mayo. Them lying sons of bitches. I tell you what, that trip to the Mayo was the worst damn thing that ever happened in my life. And now I've broken my back. I've had major open chest heart surgery. I've had all kinds of surgeries. I've been broken bones. I've been through hell. Nothing. I'd take any of that shit 5 times over going through this again. This was pure. I thought I went for literally a full month every morning regretting that I woke up, wishing that I had died.
My grandmother went through all that crap, and she the first for 6 months she went through it. There was a month straight to where every morning she got to the point where she says, I might as well just sleep on the toilet, because that's all she did was either out the ass or out the mouth.
Yeah.
And she always said she said, you know, she made a funny joke out of it. She says, "Well, there's one good thing about my bathroom. I always hated it because you'd sit on the toilet and the sink was right in front of you. When I was going through that chemo and radiation, she said, I'm glad the sink was in front because I could do it both and not have to move."
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and then for me, I had to be on a feeding tube, and I was on that feeding tube for almost 2 full months and not allowed to eat. I couldn't even drink. I couldn't sip water, nothing. I wasn't allowed to take anything orally.
Oh, that would suck.
Or tell me about it. And what did I do all fucking day? I watched cooking shows and I watched Mojo. Yeah.
You're bad.
That's what I did. I tortured myself every freaking day, sitting there with a bag of juice hanging on this liquid shit hanging on a pole, tubed into my goddamn guts.
Why
And
would
every
you
day
put
I
yourself
have to
through that?
change that shit out. And the worst part was the first 2 weeks where I was on that bag 24 hours a day running constantly. And then as time went on, I was able to feed faster, so I had less hours of feeding time. But it was so bad that this is no kidding. I tried
Hey,
for the
Samantha.
last 3 months to donate all of this tube feeding formula that I had. There's other people in the world. There's people all over the place that are on tube feeding. I couldn't donate it anywhere. Nobody wanted it. Nobody, no, we don't need it. No. And I got tired of looking. I stuck $160 of that shit in the trash last week. It went out with the fucking trash. I'm tired of trying to give $160 away. I told this one guy, he says, "Oh, my sister was on tube feeding, but they're taking her off, so I guess we couldn't take it." And I said, "You should take it." He goes, "Why?" I said, "Take it and list it on fucking eBay. You'll make a bunch of money." He goes, "Well, why don't you do it?" Because I said, "I don't want to piss with it. I don't want to piss around with trying to ship that stuff. I don't know. But you're a young guy. You do it. You take it, and you can keep the money." I said, "You know that shit? It's $50 a case. I mean, you sell it for $40 a case and make them pay for the shipping. You're making, I mean, Jesus Christ, you're going to make yourself a couple $100 just to sit on your goddamn phone and list it. Yeah, what the hell? No, I don't want it." So I said, "The hell with it." I threw it out in the trash. All of my supplies, the feeding bags, the IV pole, all of that shit, I got it all put together. On Tuesday, my grandson's showing up, and his little sister is on tube feeding, and she just happens to be using the same feeding system I had. All of that gear is out of this house, going with them down to their house to help that little girl, and that shit's here where I can't see it. I don't want anything in the house that reminds me of my cancer. I want to see goodies, man. I got a table set up with Christmas goodies all out, spread out on it, and I go nibbling and eating.
I gotta ask, what was the first thing you ate when you were able to eat on your own?
Well, they start you out.
Hey,
They start you out on clear fluids, right? The very first and it's weird what they call clear fluids. Coffee is a clear fluid. Grape juice is a clear fluid. Things like that. Oh, coffee. And then they told me, I had a couple of nurses telling me, "Well, don't drink too much coffee because it's a dehydrator and it doesn't count for your daily fluids." Wait a minute. My cancer surgeon and my dietitian both said the opposite. They said, "Drink all the frickin' coffee you want." They said, "Coffee is not a dehydrator, caffeine is." They said, "So if you're worried if you drink a cup of decaffeinated coffee, you count 2/3 of that cup as fluid because the caffeine is going to eliminate the benefits of 1/3 of that cup. But you're still getting fluid." So, right? So I was drinking 3 pots of coffee a day when I was allowed to finally drink something. Well, then they transitioned me the following week. Now you can have what they considered cloudy fluids. Well, that included cream soups. Oh, tomato soup, man! I was drinking that. I make tomato soup, put it in a sippy kind of cup, and drinking tomato soup all damn day. And I could have bouillon and shit. And so, yeah, I just chowed down on tomato soup. I still eat tomato soup, but not like I did then. I was just loving it. There's nothing better in the world. Then I got to go to soft foods, things like cottage cheese and oatmeal and cream of wheat and things like that. I'm chowing that shit down just like it's gourmet, man. It's just, then they let me have.
I bet you were.
But when they finally said you could go ahead and try solid foods you have to chew, what did I do? My daughter helped me out. I went right to the local Chinese restaurant, got me some shrimp egg foo young. And I sat here at home, and it took me 4 freaking hours just to eat 2 of those egg foo young because my stomach capacity at the time was less than the size of my fist. So I could only eat about 3/4 of a cup at a time because I don't have I don't have that lower sphincter above my stomach anymore. That's been removed. So if I overeat, it'll load up in my esophagus. And that means you got to stay at a 90-degree angle sitting upright for an hour and a half for it to get down into your digestive system. Because if you could tip 20, 30 degrees and it's going to come right out your mouth because there's no sphincter to stop it anymore.
Is that what kind of cancer you had?
I had esophageal cancer right down at the sphincter right above your stomach. They removed half of my esophagus and the top 20%, 25% of my stomach. Then they pulled the rest of your stomach up through your diaphragm all the way up into the middle of my chest and attach it to what's left of my esophagus. So over half of my esophagus is actually what used to be my stomach. So it's amazing what the hell they can do. They're the grease monkeys of the medical world, you know. You want your good old small town grease monkey working on your rig. Yeah, that's what these Mayo surgeons are. They're the grease monkeys of the medical world. They're going to get in there. They're going to fix it one way or another. And that's all they do, though. And I told that doctor, I said, you're awesome. I can't believe you were able to cut me open right down the front. I mean, they fillet it like a fish. And then my right rib cage from just forward of my armpit all the way around in my spine, they opened up my rib cage because they have to go in from both directions to work on you. And they have to collapse your lung to be able to work on your mouth. It's a nightmare. And he managed to do all that shit, put me back together. And I told him, I said, I got to thank you, Doc. I can't. It's amazing that you're even able to do that. But I said, as far as your hospital goes and the bedside manners of anybody that works for your hospital system, you can shove it all up your ass.
Wow.
I said, if I have to go through surgery and need you as my surgeon again, I'm picking the fucking hospital and you're coming to me because I am not going to your hospital ever again. Ever again. It was a meat factory. I'm telling you.
I bet you. So, sometimes you get that.
But I understand why it is, because what it is the Mayo is a medical college.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in that hospital is an intern. Everybody.
Yep.
You got your doctor. He comes in to see you every freaking day, and he's got 5 people with him every day. But every day it's 5 different people. They're all interns, and they're all asking you the same damn question. The other 15 interns you saw earlier in the day come in with other doctors. You're an educational tool. If you're in the Mayo Hospital, you're an educational tool. They don't treat you as a patient. They treat you as a tool for educating these kids. And And it was terrible. It was terrible. I mean, I'd be in the middle of these kids rattling questions off at me. How does this feel? What does that feel like? How about the meds? Are they doing this and that to make you feel better and this and all these questions? And it's like, I've answered this shit 50 times a day. Leave me I'm in so much pain right now. I need the actual nurse. I need the nurse. But I had 2 nurses. They were angels. I mean, they saved my life. I'm not kidding. It got so bad. I had one of these interns that was working with the nursing staff. She come in and she said, has this been done with you today? I said, no, and it ain't going to be. She goes, what do you mean it ain't going to be? It has to be done. I go, no, it ain't going to be done because it's going to hurt like a motherfucker. I ain't doing it. And she goes, yes, you are. You don't have a choice. You don't make the choices here. We do. I said, oh, no. Cold day in hell when you make my choices for me. I'm making this choice, and my choice is not to do that shit today. And she goes, we'll make you do it. I said, you stand right there. Don't move. And I asked my regular nurse, I said, does that big window in the center of the windows here in my room? I'm on the eighth floor, over 80 feet above a big stone patio outside the hospital. I said, does that window open? She goes, well, yeah, it's a crank out. It can be open. It's got a screen on the inside, but yeah, it can be open. I said, and there's nothing, if you open it all the way, there's nothing but the screen between you and the outdoors? She goes, yeah. I said, good. That's all I needed to know. I looked at that gal and I said, you see all these IVs in me? At that time, I had 5 fucking IVs in me. 5 IVs running in me. Well, 1 was an epidermal and then 2 in each arm. And I said, I know how to remove these sons of bitches. I said, I'm pulling my IVs. You stand there and watch. She goes, why would you do that? And I said, because I'm going to Peter Pan my ass right out that fucking window. Because I'd rather fucking die than have you tell me you're going to make me go through more pain. She had a tear running down her face. And she turned and just walked out of it. The look on her face, it's just like I stole her soul or something. I found out the next day from the surgeon, she was put on medical leave for traumatization. She talked to their hospital shrink and told him, I drove the man to the point of suicide. He was going to kill himself.
I believe it.
So that shrink finally came in and talked to me and asked for my side of the story. And I told her, and she goes, oh, she didn't lie about any of it. She says, yeah, that's what she said happened. I said, well, it's the truth. I was going to jump out that fucking window. I didn't want to put me in any more pain than I already am. And that psychiatrist said to me, she said, this gal's going to be on 30-day leave and going through counseling because she said she doesn't believe that she has the bed manner necessary for this line of work. I go, you know what? Your patient is right. She doesn't have the bedside manner. Yeah. But no, it was pure hell. It was pure hell. But you know what? And I had a gal tell me that. She goes,
to work in that kind of area, you have to have that bedside manner.
Oh yeah. But I had this gal tell me, she says, Sty, it's just like pregnancy.
I worked in healthcare for over 8 years.
You went through all that pain and misery, and once it was over, you started to feel better and better and better, and then you were back to yourself. She said, now you have to really think about back then about how bad it truly was. Otherwise, you just kind of forget. And I said, yeah, because you don't want to remember that shit. I mean, it's that bad. And now I talked to that surgeon a couple of weeks ago. That's the first time I've talked to him in like 2 months because I just see my cancer and primary doctor here. But the surgeon, we're chatting away, and I said, Doc, I really want to know. When I was in the hospital, he had me on an epidermal. What they're doing is they're killing the nerves in your spinal column. And for me, it was just above my shoulders, down. They're killing the pain receptors. They had me on morphine. They had me on fentanyl.
Wow.
And they had me popping oxycodons. And I couldn't stand the pain. Even though I was on all those opiates, I could not stand the damn pain. And I said, what if this would have been 50 years ago? He said, you would have died. I go, what? He goes, you would never have survived the trauma of what we did to you. You would have never, your body would have never. He said, in order for us to even have tried to do what we did to you 50 years ago, we would have had to put you into a chemical-induced coma and kept you there for at least a month for you to be able to endure the pain. You wouldn't have been able to. He said, if you did survive, there wouldn't be anything left of you mentally. You would have totally lost it because of nobody can deal with that kind of pain for that long of a period. We would have had to keep you comatose through the whole thing. He says, now we can manage the pain at least so that you can survive the pain. And I said, holy Jesus, thank God I didn't get this shit 30 years ago, you know? I can't believe it. I've cheated life. I've cheated life so many times. I mean, the people say, why? I said, obviously my purpose here ain't done. I mean, because I've had plenty of chances to check out, you know, and none of them have succeeded. Not yet. Not yet. And I don't know how much, it's like I told the surgeon, I said, I don't know what's going to kill me. But I said, I can't imagine anything worse than what I just went through. I mean, my biggest fears in life is drowning or suffocating or burning, being burnt. Those are my biggest fears. They don't seem as scary anymore.
Yeah,
they don't seem as scary anymore. And he said, he said, you're passing 20, 25 years from now, probably. He says, I think it'll seem a lot easier than what you went through. So I got to look back on that, and I still ask myself, how in the fuck did I get through it? And Gemma knows. Gemma knows her and Samantha Lee, that they helped pull this old boy up by his bootstraps, because, man, I was hitting rock bottom again, and chat with these two gals, and they lifted my spirits and got me positive thinking again.
We just get, you know, we get your encouragement at school and help you to believe in yourself. Whoa, Mr. Bill, you got the stream playing, because I can hear my voice.
Oh no, Dojo's better half, much better half.
Better half.
Much better half. The frosting on the cake was talking.
Yeah.
Right. The
Yeah.
cream cheese frosting.
Hey, Roy.
Dang,
Roy,
how old are you?
How old's
What's
my
that?
wife?
We just told you, we would, if anyone who's going through a rough time, you know, when you're ill and you feel really rubbish, all you want is someone to help pick you up and
See,
you know,
and
make you feel better. Because when you're going through a health struggle, you feel like you're completely on your own. It's horrible.
Gemma is dead on. Through that surgical process and the recovery, I needed people. There was no getting around it. I needed people. But I spent my whole life. I spent my whole life, whether I needed people or not, I'll do it on my own. I will do it on my own. I will not burden other people with my miseries. This time, it's like I told the gals, I proved to myself for the first time in my life, I'm weak. I'm weak.
How old are you now?
I'll be 66 in February. Yeah.
You actually, considering your age, you're lucky you beat that.
Yeah. Now my ex-wife, she was diagnosed stage 4 lung liver, and colon, right? 3 cancers. Stage 4. That means you're dying.
Oh.
Social Security approved her, put her on disability and the life disability. No question, she can't lose it. She has it till she's dead. And they gave her maximum 22 months. Guess what? She went through the same cancer center I did, had the exact same doctors I had. She went through one minor surgery to remove a cancerous node outside of her colon. And today she's cancer-free. She's classified as cancer-free. She had to get a hold of Social Security and say, I don't qualify for the end-of-life disability. What about the payments I've received from Social Security? They said, no, we don't go retroactive and make you pay that back. No, you didn't know you're going to live, you know. And she goes, oh, thank God. You know, yeah, I hate to spend.
You're lucky though. That's amazing.
I don't believe we were lucky, because I've talked to so many people through that cancer center, patients, and asked them, you know, what were your results and blah, blah, blah. What stage were you and how did things roll out? And that cancer center has the highest fucking success rate I've been able to locate anywhere online, anywhere, even through the mail. Their success rate is about 10 points higher than the Mayo's. Why?
Where'd you go?
The Ashland Area Cancer Center. It's a local little cancer center that our hospital decided to set up. And they handpicked the chemo doctors, the radiation doctors, all of the floor staff for infusions. They handpicked them from all over. And several of them are right out of the Mayo. They pull them right out of the Mayo and stole them and put them in this cancer center. We got people coming from 250 miles away, 250 frickin' miles away, and they'll spend all week here getting their cancer treatments and go home for the weekend and then come back and all week getting their treatments because of the success rate here. Now, I never realized it till I was going there. I didn't know any of that shit. I just thought, oh, little small town cancer center, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. They're the best fucking place in the world.
You know, it's amazing, though. There's people, at least you listen to doctors and then go, my brother had Langerhorn, or can't remember how it was pronounced, cancer. And he believed pot would cure his cancer. He refused to listen to the doctors, kept smoking more pot.
You know, and that's the thing is, I listened, whatever, after about 2 weeks of going through the chemo, the doctor asked me, he goes, do you have any questions? And I'd ask him questions about what to expect. What do I expect? And they were honest with me. I have to say, these local doctors, they don't lie to you. Well, this is going to make you sick, or this is going to hurt. They tell you flat out. They don't say, oh, this is going to be a little uncomfortable. No, they say, this is going to fucking hurt, you know? And I love that about them. They're honest with you. Well, I told them, I said, the doctor says, we'd really like to do this in your treatment. What do you think of that? I said, I told you when I walked in the door, I want you to do your best to fucking cure me. Otherwise, I don't want to be here. You do what you believe will cure me. I'm not a cancer doctor. You are. So why are you asking me to make those decisions? I made the decision. I'm putting my life in your damn hands, and I want you to do the best job you can, period. You tell me, I'm along for the damn ride. You tell me what to do, and I will I'll follow your direction so it doesn't screw up your plan to cure me. It worked, man. It worked. If the doctor said, you're going to do this, I did it. I didn't like it, but I still did it. You're going to do that. Yeah, okay. You're driving the bus. I'm down the right. I'll do that. Do what the doctor
like a big roller coaster, wasn't it? Up and
yeah.
down.
Yeah, but the doctors, the way they understood all the effects of the different treatments and how they can correct some of it and balance you through it. And I tell you what, all of the treatments, everything, the only thing, the surgery was a nightmare, but all of the treatments, right now I'm going through chemo. And but Kathy, but the
Hey, Kathy Kahan.
but right now I'm going through chemo. I still got to go through chemotherapy until May of 2024. But it's
Wow.
once a month. It's once a month. I go to the cancer center, and I told them, I said, never ever in my freaking life have I ever looked forward to going to a treatment of any kind. But man, I love going to the cancer center. I get there, first thing I check in, blood work. I never, no more than sit down. Sty, you're next. Come on, let's do your blood work. They do my blood work. I no more than sit down. Sty, come on back. Doctor's going to see you in about 15 minutes. They get me in my room, in the exam room, and they go, you want your regular coffee that we usually fix you? And, yeah, sure. Yeah. So they know exactly how to get my coffee right. And they come in with a great big ass basket full of snacks like you're at the ballpark, you know. Hey, we got snacks here, you know. Hey, bring that big basket in. Help yourself. Look at there. Buddy Softies. Peanut butter. Nah.
Mojo something.
Oh,
They're for dogs.
They're sugar
Look at
free.
this way, side. The amount of money you got they got from your insurance and from you probably build a wing.
Well, that's it. You know, well, and that's it. Is I told them, I said, I can't believe your success record and the demand. You go there, their waiting rooms full of people, man. Their radiation department, their infusion department, doing the chemo, they're busy constantly. The chemo department has 8 infusion rooms. And you go back there, and every room's got somebody in there with an IV hooked up getting chemotherapy. But it's open atmosphere. Everybody sees everybody, and you got a television in your room getting infused. You sit there. I watch the Food Channel, of course, because it takes an hour in the infusion. It takes about 40 minutes for the actual infusion, 20 minutes for setup and tear down. But I just sit there watch the Food Channel, all that. And I had called the snack lady in probably twice during that hour that I'm in there. And by that time, I need a fresh cup of coffee. And I have about a half a cup of coffee when I'm leaving the place. I mean, they treat you like you're royalty there. And it don't hurt. I mean, the gals do so many IVs every freaking day. And they come in, they got that machine, they can see where all your veins are and stuff, and they check. They'll go, I got the perfect one. And they go, okay, there's going to be a little poke. And then you see they're hooking shit up, they're taping it down, and you're going, is it it? Yeah, it's it. You didn't feel it? No, I didn't feel nothing. They're so good. They're so good at it. And there's like 6 of them, and they rotate around. But they're so good. And I told them, I said, is this going to get to the point now between now and 2024 where I'm going to have trouble getting appointments to get in because of the demand of people and shit? And they said, we're hoping not, because we have become so highly rated that we're under so much demand. They're looking at building another wing, and they're going to separate. One half will be chemo, one half will be radiation. It'll be one big, huge facility. They said we'll be able to almost triple our capacity of patients. And we got approval to add all the different staff we need to staff the whole facility. And they said, so that's in the works, it's coming. And so I thought, that's awesome. And what a place to go. The Mayo Clinic, you go to Rochester, Minnesota, guess what? You got to stay in a hotel downtown. And it's like being in downtown Minneapolis, man. Yeah, it's a bitch to get across the street. Mayo
My
Clinic,
father had those.
it's so huge and spread out, but it's all inner city. Up here, you stay in the hotels around here. We got Hotel Schwamigan. It's right on Lake Superior. Looks out. Every room looks out over the lake. It's a beautiful touristy area. If you got to go through a cancer treatment, man, I'd rather come here than go down to the Mayo. Because when you're not getting your cancer treatments, there's things to do here, things to see, comfortable hotels to stay in. So they're going to, I think in my lifetime still, I'm going to see this place just all of a sudden, boom, become a big, huge cancer.
You ought to make a commercial for them.
they're going to be.
I must say, one of the things about you, Sty, that some people don't know, like Sty has been supporting me when I sadly lost my grandma to cancer, and I was going through the process with dealing with her passing and her being really ill. Sty was there every time I phoned him, I texted him. I'm like, look, I don't know how to cope. My grandma's really ill. I don't understand it. Why? And everything. Sty was there. He answered all my questions. I was miserable. Like, my grandma was 84 when she passed. I did quite well. I thought I did at the time, but like seeing Sty's strength to cope with it, like, he gave the fight to cope with my grandma. I lost it. I was very, very angry, bitter, very, very. I still blame to the day the lack of communication with the nurse and stuff with me, and the whole cancer explanation, why it happened so quickly, why she went downhill from only having one type of cancer, and all of a sudden it's like boom, 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 boom. She just went downhill, and I'm like, what, why? And then we started, I was like, oh, you have to be that hard. If someone would have just said, Gemma, okay, this is going to happen, this is what it is, and unfortunately she's going to go.
Jesse.
But I would have been, okay, fine, let her go to peace and let her go. Yeah, fine. But no one told me anything. For Sty, I would have completely shut myself away. I didn't know anything. I was heartbroken. So to see Sty, how brave he's been, it really helped me. My grand's been gone 4 years Tuesday. I
just hate seeing people.
He was there for
having
me.
to cope with life. Because life's not fair. Life's not fair to us, to any of us. And everybody has those trying moments, in life. And if you want to call yourself a friend, just be there for people. I mean, and that was it, and don't be an ass like I was. When I came home from my surgery, I was getting a message, how are you, Sty? We're praying for you. We care. Just contact me if you need to. I'll talk to you. I didn't respond to anybody. It was just, it's not that my human support wasn't there. I wasn't accepting it. I wasn't taking. Don't be an asshole like I was. Open up. So what? You look a little weak. Weak. Let those people be there for you. Because all you need sometimes is someone to listen to you, and you can get it off your chest about how miserable you are and how unfair life is
like
to
that.
you.
Thank you for letting me say hi.
Yeah, that's it. It's Mr. Briggs knows. Yeah, you're right on it. It's and that's a such a healing thing. My daughter and a few of my grandkids, they were there through that whole thing for me. Running Water, my boy, he drives over the road truck, so he's not at home, but he was always in contact, always in touch, checking up your status, Pop, how's it going? And that was, that was my anchor. It was holding me in place. I was still in stormy waters, but my anchor was 2 of my kids and a couple of my grandkids, that they were there for me. If I needed, I knew, just knowing, all I had to do is dial them, and they'd be there. They'd be there as quick as they could to give me a hand, help me out. Running Water, in fact, when they hospitalized me and I got the diagnosis, That was a rough period, very rough. I thought that was the end. I thought I was dying. That's when I went into a coma prior to being diagnosed, and I thought I was dying that day, that night. But Running Water messages me and says, "Yeah, the company worked it out, got me a load close to home, so I'm coming home for a week." I get home,
Yeah,
and
my
my
dad
bed.
died of COPD.
Oh, yeah, that's a bitch. An old friend of
Yep.
mine is dealing with COPD for this is his 6th year, and I saw him just well, it was about a week ago, trying to get from his van into Walmart to get on one of their power scooters, and his wife was trying to help him in there, and he was in such bad shape. I felt so bad for him. He can't breathe. He just can't breathe. It was just terrible. It's terrible. Hey, to watch a person slowly progress downhill like that, And with the problem with COPD, it's not quick. Right. 8 years. You watch a person struggle for 8 years like that. It's tough. It's tough.
He went through it for 8 years, and then what happened was he got mean like you did, and you tried to help him. And his problem was you couldn't get him to do nothing, and he would have lived longer if he had done stuff like he wanted my mother to make him a sandwich, get him a cup of coffee, and we had to be nasty to him and say, "Get up here, you know what, and do it yourself."
Well, see, that I never had trouble with. Is where I had trouble was I was going to do it myself, and where the problem lied was I was doing too much. I was actually hurting myself by insisting on doing it myself. I don't want to burden anybody else. I'll do it. It's my problem. I'll take care of it. And I did. I took care of it. Took care of it. And it got to the point where all I wanted to do is die because it was so hard to do. I couldn't do it all. I just couldn't do it all. And then a couple of nurses at my primary clinic and the few family members and Gemma and Samantha, they finally convinced me that they still haven't convinced me that I wasn't weak, but they're saying, "Oh no, you're not weak, Sty. No." And I'm going, "Oh fuck yeah, I was weak, man. I wanted to die. I was so weak that I had my youngest.
You being weak.
I had my youngest boy.
You were asking for support and to understand.
And that's it. Is
you being weak?
Is to have someone.
To
people
like Mojo who have been weak too.
So you have to accept the fact that you might be weak in standards of what you used to be. It might appear weak to you, but really you're as strong as you can be in the situation you're in, And I realized I wasn't strong enough to get through it alone. It was just one of those jobs, oh, I got this 300-pound item that has to be moved from here to there. And I really need someone on the other end of this, but I'm going to try to do it all by myself. That's the thing is you got to realize sometimes you just can't do everything on your own, and you have to let your friends know that you need a shoulder to lean on because you just ain't going to make it without.
I can tell you right. I can tell you right now, Sty and Mojo, you guys have been fantastic with me. Like when I first told Sty about me being diagnosed with autism, I was a wreck. I was crying. I was very angry. I was very confused. And
her emotions were like this.
Like, you know what, Gemma? Yes, you're different and everything else. And I was up, down, constantly. I was literally on a sliding scale. One day I'll be super happy, like, woohoo, I feel good. And then also it's like, I feel down, and I feel up. And if it wasn't for Sty, Mojo, people like Samantha, I would have been a wreck. These guys were fantastic with me. Like, they were literally, someone's got no stream playing. I can hear myself.
Yeah, there's an echo coming from somewhere. I don't know.
Not me.
I've got the stream playing.
No echo here on my side.
But yeah, if it wasn't for people like you guys who were supporting me and, seeing me at my most roughest stage and see my meltdowns, the screaming, the crying, like, you guys were fantastic. Also, out you guys, especially like, these guys were my rocks. Like, I can't explain how much it meant to me going through my struggle time. Like, I was lost. I didn't know
And
who I
that's
was
it.
anymore. I was a completely different person. I
Well,
didn't
and
know who I was.
that's it. Is with different situations, you get to the point where all of a sudden you realize I'm not even myself anymore. You lost yourself. You lose yourself. Yeah, you can't even relate to yourself anymore, and you need to talk to somebody to find your ground again. To plant both your feet on the ground and say, "Oh, yeah, I'm still me. I'm still myself. I'm just going through this bad time," and having somebody, and there's nothing wrong with just being a sounding board. Just stand there and let them vent on you. You don't even have to respond sometimes. Just let them get it out. Let them get it out. Because I know for me, that really, those two gals, man, they listened to me that day. And I know I had to have gotten to the point where I was just, is he ever going to shut up? I mean, because I was just spilling my guts. And it was so bad. Now, for me, now just so the world knows, I don't on my channel. Only a few times has the topic of suicide ever come up, and people don't like the topic on my channel because they don't want to hear my take on it. And that's suicide is the most cowardice and selfish thing anybody in the world can do, because they're not they're taking their easy way out at the expense of those they leave behind. That they are hurting others for themselves, for their own selfish reasons.
I'm going to jump down here, Sty, real quick. I'm going to go lay down.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm going to go lay down.
Hey, you should be here, Mojo. Last night.
Oh, get better, Mojo. I'll be praying for you.
Yesterday.
Running water? What was up with running water?
Running water and I yesterday, we caught a couple of short naps in the afternoon, and we sat and played PlayStation. He went to bed at 4:00 this morning. I shut it down at 5:30 this morning.
Oh,
he got up at about, I don't know, was it 7, 8 o'clock, something like that. So he got 3 hours of sleep. I got up at about 10:30. So I got about 4 hours of sleep.
Wow.
And I come downstairs and there he is. He's on the PlayStation already. And I told him, I got stream today. I got to get everything set up. I got to do my bookkeeping and shit for the week and everything. So I won't be on PlayStation until after the stream today, sometime this evening. I got everything set up. I was in there. I played for an hour before the stream. I'm almost ready for another nap. I mean, we're not sleeping right, man. We're just
we're playing video games.
And you have to get that sleep, man. You have to squeeze that in. So you go catch yourself.
Oh yeah,
man. Because what is it out there? It's about 1 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
Yeah. Get a little nap in, eat some pizza. Then we're gonna have dinner.
I'm having ham sandwiches tonight for my dinner.
Oh, nice, yum!
I got
I'm having liver and onions.
Oh, shit! Look out! I might show up at your door. I love liver and onions.
All right, you guys.
Deer heart, not deer liver.
You take care. And Sty, Mr.
Take
Big
care,
Sir,
Joe.
everybody in the chat, have a fabulous holiday coming up, and everybody have a fabulous day. And I will see you guys next time.
Take care, buddy. Love you.
Yeah. Bye.
I'm having deer liver, onions, and bacon.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I haven't been able to
onions,
for several years, and I wanted to go this year, but my health wasn't good enough. But it will be next year. There is nothing.
My gran
There
used
is
to
nothing.
be into eating liver and onions. Ugh.
Oh, Gemma, I actually think the way, well, I can fix it that way. It's a lot of work, but my ex-wife was the best at it. Um, the way we made our liver and onions, anybody would eat it and go, "Yeah, I'll take some more." But we usually use venison livers or calf liver, so it's nice
Okay.
and tender, and it would be breaded
Mr.
and
Briggs, can you
fried.
mute? I can't hear you very well. Your headset's causing really bad noise.
Yeah, there's something.
Really
Yeah.
scratchy noise. It's irritating me.
Oh, it was that bag. Yep, liver.
Deer
liver.
heart,
Oh
deer
my
liver.
Yeah, your liver.
Oh.
See that? Yeah, we prepared the
right.
liver. We would flour it, fry it, and then we fried up a bunch of bacon, and it went in with the liver and onions, and then we'd make a brown gravy with it, and then we'd
My
have
parents
that over boiled taters, and oh my God, it was to die for. A friend of mine only tasted liver once when he was about 6 years old, and his mother said, he won't even walk in the house. If you tell him we're cooking liver, he won't come to your house. He won't go to your house. Even if you told him there's $6,000 sitting on the table, but we're eating liver and it's in the middle of the table, he wouldn't come for the 10 grand. No, he ain't coming nowhere near liver. Well, he stopped at our place out in Montana, and we were having our style of liver and onions, and there were elk livers. And he was hungry as hell. And I go, oh, we're just having meat with gravy and bacon and taters. He goes, I'll have a plate. Well, my wife dished them up. And he's sitting there chowing it down. He goes, what the hell kind of backstraps are those? They're so tender. Well, he had eaten half of the plate. I go, well, that's elk liver. Liver? Liver? I said, yeah, that's liver. He goes, fuck you, I don't eat liver. No. I said, oh, yes, you do. You ate half. Shit, you ate 3/4 of a pound of liver right there. He went and he took that next bite and he goes, even though I hate liver, that bite was just as good as the first ones. Now he'll only eat that liver. He won't eat just fried liver with fried onions. No, it's got to have the gravy and the taters. But
I do that.
He loves
but
it.
I batter it.
Batter it, yeah. Yep. Oh man, that's what I miss about hunting season is that first hunt out. Up here, we were always successful, very successful, and we'd drop 3-4 does and maybe a buck in a day, and get the back straps out of them and get the livers out of them, and you head back to camp. And your first night it was liver and onions, man, liver and onions. The next day, you betcha, lunchtime, we're going to be grilling us some back straps, and oh my God, that first liver and onion dinner on the hunt was always to die for. We look forward to that.
I soak it in salt water for about an hour, 2 hours to get rid of the blood.
Gaminess.
Then Then it only takes about an hour to soak it, salt water, and then I mix some eggs, put it in eggs, put it in I use Bisquick. I don't use regular flour. That or wheat flour if I use flour. I use Bisquick. Fry it in the frying pan, about 5 minutes aside. That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
And you slice it each time to make sure the heat gets all the way through.
Yeah.
And then I throw in a pound of bacon on top. Put it on simmer. Fill the pan full about half full of water. Let it sit. And before it's done, you go in there with about a couple of potatoes that you put in the microwave just to cook them. Put them in the frying pan. Put them in with the eggs. I mean, not the eggs, the potatoes. Fry that for about another 5 or 10 minutes, and then I mix. You'll probably laugh, but I throwing a couple of black cherries in there. Not black cherries, black olives
Oh yeah.
and green peppers. Oh,
Uh-huh. Oh yeah.
now you're
Oh
talking
yeah.
some meat.
Yeah. You betcha. See, I'll do that with venison steak. I'll take venison steaks and I sear them. They're not cooked all the way through. I sear them and I throw them in a slow cooker with tomato sauce and I season it with oregano and blah blah blah. And I add a ton of green and yellow and red peppers in there, and I let it slow cook for about 4 hours, 5 hours in there, and then we have that over egg noodles. Every time we make it never make enough. I mean, damn, people just go nuts. They go, that meat is so tender, it's not gamey. We do the same thing. Do a saltwater bath, and then sear it. Get it in there, and let her. The longer you simmer it away, the more tender it gets, and it's just the flavors.
It's hilarious. So, deer heart tastes just like deer liver. I keep telling my neighbor across the street every time I get deer, he wants deer heart. I said, one year I lied to my teeth and gave him a hunk of deer liver and told him it's the heart.
Uh-huh.
He said, man, that was the best heart I ever had. I said, how come you don't like deer liver? It's nasty. He said, well, that's what you cooked last night. He says, no, it ain't. He says, yes, it is. And I showed him the heart. He said, you're lying. I said, it's just tastes the same.
Yeah. The only thing I've noticed that's a little different is the texture can be a little different sometimes. You can tell the heart's it's not quite as tender as the liver, but the flavor's identical. I agree with you 100%.
But they don't know until they try. That's why I tell you got to try it before you can pass judgment.
Well, that's like, when I was in my late teens, I was running a really big muskrat trap line, and I was an avid squirrel hunter at the time. And I always had a freezer full of gray squirrel, and 3 of my buddies and their wives wanted to come over for dinner. And I said, yeah, come on over. I'll fix you dinner. What do you want? And they said, squirrel. We want your squirrel and dumplings that you make. I said, yeah, okay, I'll do that. And that's par fried squirrel with veggies and taters and chicken stock. And then I simmer that for hours in a big Dutch oven. Then I put dumplings in there and cook the dumplings. Well, I got at that time I had this huge Dutch oven, and I thought that'll make enough for 7 of us. And I went to the freezer. All I had left were 2 gray squirrels. Well, you ain't feeding 7 people with 2 gray squirrels. Well, on the other side of the freezer, I had about 40 nice quartered and wrapped muskrats. Well, I'll swap out muskrats. So that dumpling dish only had 2 squirrels in it. All the rest of it was muskrats. They sat there and chowed that down. And one of the guys finally spoke up, and he goes, I want to know, when did you head down south to go fox squirrel hunting? Because there aren't any up here. Because those had to be fox squirrels as big as those chunks of meat were. I go, oh, no, there's no fox squirrel in there. He said, you're not going to convince me those weren't gray squirrels. I go, I'm not trying to convince you. I didn't say they were gray squirrels. He goes, then what the hell were they? I said, muskrat. They're all looking at each other. We've been eating muskrats. And then one of them said, that's pretty damn good. I said, yeah. I mean, come on, get real. A muskrat, all it eats, I mean, they're a vegetarian, for God's sakes. I mean, and if you salt bath them long enough, you get the gaminess right out of them. I said, and they eat like a squirrel. They eat like a squirrel. They're a little redder meat, but yeah, they cook up and eat like a squirrel. And they loved them. They loved them. Well, and then I found out on my trap line, 2 of those guys, they wanted that. Between those 2, I rarely had muskrat in my freezer. They wanted them. They wanted the muskrats, And I'd prep them for them, clean them up, quarter them. I wouldn't wrap them. I'd give them to them in a big Ziploc bag and say, "You go home, wrap them yourself." But so they were eating muskrats for a couple of years there because I was getting so damn many. I tell you what, I found out.
It's funny. People don't realize that some meat you wouldn't know what it tastes like until you tried it.
Exactly. And how good it really is, it's amazingly good. And you're just like, and it's that critter? Are you kidding me? Yeah, it is.
You know, it's the funny part. My neighbor didn't like it when I said we got deer running in our backyard, and he actually wanted to beat me up when I said what I said. I said, the way meat prices are going, I'm like, get a crossbow and shoot one of them damn things in my backyard.
Yeah.
And he says, you can't do that. But they're beautiful. I said, what's beautiful, Bob? I haven't grown a vegetable garden in about 5 years because I haven't had the time to put a cage around my garden because I can't grow even tulips back there because of them damn things.
Yeah. To keep the beautiful deer from eating all your gardening efforts. I mean,
yep.
I loved it in this other town we lived in, north of where we're at, when the wife and I were still together. The town had so many town deer. I mean, the town was packed with deer. And we lived right in town. And they decided we need to get rid of these deer. So they opened it up, and then you had to pre-qualify. And you couldn't hunt them with anything except a bow. They didn't. I told them that's moronish. They wouldn't even let you use a crossbow. Even though a crossbow is legal here in Wisconsin, they wouldn't let you use a crossbow. It had to be a drawn bow. Okay, fine. So you had to go out, you had to qualify. They wanted to see you could actually hit what you're shooting at with a bow, that you weren't some green bugger that ran to Walmart, bought a cheap bow, and you're showing up, I'm going to kill a deer in my backyard, and end up shooting the neighbor's kid, But so I qualified and stuff. There was no limit. You drop the deer and you call the local PD, and they'd swing by your house and they'd tag the deer for you. And you could shoot as many as you wanted on your own, in your own yard. I got 5 deer on the first day. I got 5 deer in my backyard. And the mayor stopped at my house and said, Sty, is there somewhere else you can put the deer that you're killing in your yard? I go, why? They said, that deer pole with half a dozen deer on it every day out there. People are driving by and covering their kids' eyes, and you look like a deer slaughterhouse. I said, I can't help it. I said, I got the biggest frickin' oak tree in the city in my backyard, and I get 25 to 30 deer every night in my backyard. I said, I'm going to keep killing them till I only get 4 or 5 in my backyard. I said, I can't even grow a sticking carrot in my goddamn garden because of them damn things.
I had a beautiful garden about 4 years ago. The carrot stalks were about a foot high, the leaves. Lettuce was cut. I had heads of lettuce. Gorgeous. I finally got rid of the groundhogs. I trapped them things and called the conservation officer, and they'd haul them away. They set the traps for me because we're not allowed to do it themselves. And they weren't going to do it at first. Said, you either trap them or I'll trap the things and drown them in the river. So come and bring the traps.
Yeah.
We caught 80 groundhogs one year.
Holy shit.
But anyway, so I eliminated the groundhogs, and they took them way out in the woods and let them out, where there was no farmer's field. So I'm out there, and I was doing great. I had tomato plants, I had pepper plants, I had everything. I had a 50 by 25 foot area of potatoes, growing beautiful. I had one, and I sprayed deer repellent on it every day. And finally, I said, first time I'm gonna get a harvest. One day I was sick, got the bug right in the middle of summer. Couldn't go out there and spray that stuff. Couldn't get anybody else to do it because it smells terrible.
Yeah.
Missed one friggin' day, and I went out there and the garden was gone. It was like someone came in, dug up every plant, wiped out the only thing they didn't eat was the potatoes. I had about 200 pounds of potatoes, and I said, I'm done. I'm friggin' done. I'm not going to bust my ass.
that we had a garden up at our house. We had it was a kind of like a Alp style A-frame kind of a fair cottage on a private lake. We owned the whole lake. It was on the property. It's 80 acres with this 3-acre. People called it a pond. Well, the damn thing was 40 feet deep. That's not a pond. That's a lake. It had trout in it, for Christ's sake. So, but I put in a beautiful garden, just like you were describing. It was beautiful. It had everything growing in it, and different varieties of peppers. Everything was in there. I had squash and watermelons and pumpkins and corn and beautiful garden, big plot. And I said, them fucking deer ain't getting in there. I put a 6-foot high fence all the way around it. And I put on the outside of that fence, 4 inches out from it, electric. So if they decided they're going to be pushing up against the fence, they're going to get zapped. And then 2 feet out from that, I put 3 rungs of electric all the way around it. I come out of that damn house one morning. My garden was just like you were describing. It was beautiful, man. I'm going, yes, that's it. Oh, man, that was a lot of work, but boy, was it worth. Look at that frickin' garden. I can't wait to get home from work. I got tomatoes to pick. My cherry tomatoes had ripened up at that time. I come home from work, and there's 5 deer standing in the middle of my garden, and there ain't nothing left in that garden. Everything's gone. And I thought, how in the Sam hell they get in there? And they're bouncing against that fence and running back and forth. Well, my garden was like 2-tiered, and one of them runs all the way down the bottom tier, hits that second tier, and it's just high enough, and they got enough speed, and he boings, and he makes it right over that 6-footer. How the fuck are they getting in? Just outside of it, there's a small grade, a hill, that is about 2 feet higher than that fence. They could go to the top of that hill, come running down. Once they get down to where the hill drops towards the garden, they go airborne, and they just make it into the fucking garden. Them sons of bitches still figured out how to get in there and eat all my garden. I sat out there for deer season, and I was shooting everything. I was even shooting Bambis. I was shooting first-year fawns. If you were of the deer class, you were dying on my property that year. Oh, my freezer was full of venison to make up for the goddamn garden I lost. I was so mad.
You fed them. Fatten them up.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I was just trying to get my garden back,
There was a guy has a YouTube channel called The Deer Whisperer. He banned me from it because I said, I'm sorry. You should be, it's illegal to feed deers. You should be banned from YouTube if you're going to make, I said, and he said, they're God's creation. I said, dude, if you live next to me and we're feeding them things, I would be complaining every day. I don't care how cute. If you think they're that cute, tell you what, go buy a friggin' farm and then tell me how cute they are.
See, the thing is here up in northern Wisconsin, you're allowed to feed deer, but not within 4 miles of any city limit. You can't feed them within 4 miles of any city limit, and it has to be at least 500 yards from a public road. And I said, I love that rule. And our DNR officers, man, they nail these people that try to feed their deer in their front yard and shit. They nail them, man. And it's $500 fine.
I don't know where he's at. But he opens up his front door, and they come right in his front door and eat out of a cup of corn.
It's
called The Deer Whisperer.
I think I've seen some of that where, he's feeding them right. They come right up to his damn house, and he's even named a couple of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
I made a comment. I said, if I lived next door to you, they wouldn't be there someday when you wake up.
Yep. I got no problem with that person that found that they've got an abandoned fawn. The doe got killed, and there's an abandoned fawn, and they raise it kind of as their pet deer. They put a ribbon around its neck, hoping that nobody will shoot it. But if it gets shot, they go, well, it's a deer. They got the right to shoot it, But it's one deer. It's one fucking deer. It's these people that are feeding these wild deer that are coming in. They're nuts. That's crazy. Don't.
Oh, he's got like 50 of them. He's got like 50 of them around this
Yeah,
house.
they end up with a
Couple
herd.
come in, they got the, yep.
And
Yep,
that's what
the one that's what causes problems.
that's what caused the goddamn, well, the deer version of mad cow's disease. You know, that's what
Mhm.
caused that is these deer yarding up like that. Other than at winter, you know, the only time deer yard up is in the winter, and unless you're feeding them, then they yard up like that. You end up with 50 of them in one spot, and that's when disease runs through them. And that guy's not doing the deer any favor. Hey, Owen, buddy, it's great to see you,
That's what
my
I said.
buddy.
Yeah, I said that.
I'm very late, but
I
I
said
told
that to
myself I wouldn't miss the stream. Okay, thank you, grandson. And Marine Mom, it is great to see you. Tell you what, Marine Mom, Running Water's in the other room playing PlayStation. Yeah. That's where I would have been if it wasn't a Sunday afternoon. Yeah. Tomorrow's a
Yeah,
busy day for me. Get the snowblower running again. And now that the snow is nice and crispy, if I can get that auger actually spinning, she'll go through it just fine. But I only got about an hour left. That's what pissed me off is when the damn thing stopped. I'm going to run and do that. What you were talking about with the blue belt, I'm going to go find one tomorrow, or I might go to O'Reilly's. You know.
Yeah, and if you find one at O'Reilly's, if it's a little bit wider, you can take a belt sander and just turn on the belt sander, put on and shave the sides a little bit. Don't go crazy, just
Yeah, just enough to give it that. Yeah.
Maggie, you leave me alone. I don't have to pet you 24/7.
We'll see you, Justin. You have a good one there, buddy. We're going to be shutting down real soon here. But yeah, yeah, I got to get that going tomorrow, so it won't be no PlayStation until tomorrow night. Then I've got
buy a spare belt when you find one that works.
That's right. Well, the minute I find one that's going to do the trick, I'm running right back by in a second, and that bugger's hanging on the shop
put one on can't you put take your snowblower like mine? I could put up on the belly, on the nose, and take the belly pan off and change the belts that way.
Now,
that sucks.
Every blower I've had, I could do it through the belly pan, right? And so I pulled the belly pan off of this one, and you know, they got the belt retainers that keep the belt on the pulley.
Yep.
They're so far back up in there, you can't get up there to bend them over out of the way to get the belt off the pulley. Unless you break the machine in half. Now, the instructions say you can do it through the belly pan, but they don't say a word about how the hell do you get to those belt stops that are at the pulley.
They just don't make them for people with fat fingers. Just admit it.
that you can't get your fucking hands in there. There's no way. And you got to be able to get in there with a screwdriver or a pry bar and bend those tabs over so you can get the belt off the damn pulley. But you can't reach them through the belly on that thing. Otherwise, if they had moved those tabs down about 3 inches, I could do it right through the belly. It would have been no big deal. Nope.
You know, these paws aren't up. You're not a poodle. Will you leave me alone?
Lap dog. That's my son's dog. He's got a Boston Terrier that's like he's not that big, but he's like a rock with legs. And his feet are small enough that when he jumps up in your lap, my God, it's like somebody's poking you with a flagpole, you know? It's just
she don't like taking no for an answer. She likes to go like that, and her paws look like bear paws when you're walking.
Yeah.
That hurts when they scratch.
Oh yeah. They want their attention, and you're going to give it to them. Here. Yep. Does she like to grab your arm and pull it like she wants to be pet or something?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, hey, come on, you're supposed to pet me, you know.
Yeah, she'll put her teeth like this and pull towards you, and she don't bite hard. But the problem is, when you work all day, after a while, it's like, come on, I want to relax. She won't let you. If I want to play on my phone. She tore a book of mine that was 100 years old, and she went in the coop for the rest of the day over that one. She tore the one page on it, and I had to tape it, and she ruined the book forever. But it's like, she'll understand what she's doing.
Yeah. Yep. Trying to get attention, you know. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give her
Just like
attention.
a kid in the house. Just like a kid in the house. Oh boy. Yeah. Well, gosh, I hate to, but I'm going to need to wrap it up, folks. We're at the 2.5 hour mark. I usually try to keep it down to 2 hours. Mr. Briggs, it was a blast having you come up. I was glad I was able to post the link today. It's been a blast. We've just, covered all kinds of topics today. I got to switch my branding over here because I don't have my exit on this branding, the way StreamYard works. There we go. So with that, folks, here's the big question for next weekend. Sty Shack Sunday, every Sunday, except last Sunday when I had technical problems. That's resolved. But for next Sunday, here's the dilemma. There will not be a Sty Shack Sunday next Sunday because on Christmas Day, I do an all day from noon until 8 p.m. I will be live Christmas Day. So 8 hours of live streaming on Christmas Day, and that's on Saturday. I am not doing a 2 to 3 hour stream the following day. I will be recovering the following day. After the 8 hours of sitting in this chair. Every Christmas I do it. Anybody that doesn't have anywhere to be, anybody to be with, or just wants to say Merry Christmas to all their YouTube friends, they pop on in on Christmas Day at the Sty Shack, and we have fun. We have little video clips and stuff that go up. You get to hear the stuff.
Charge your phone.
You get to see in that show the Sty Night Before Christmas. And everybody gets a kick out of that. They love that. So if you're available on Christmas Day between noon and 8 o'clock, stop on in. And if you miss the Sty Night Before Christmas, just hound me a little bit out in the chat, and I'll play it a couple times, I'm sure. So the next time you'll see me is on Christmas Day, guys. So between now and then, I want you all to have a very Merry Christmas. Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy this week before Christmas. Take very good care of each other. And stay out there. Take advantage and lean on your friends when you need to. And be a friend when you need to be. So, Sty loves you guys. Respects every one of you. And we're going to be seeing you in a week. So, Mr. Briggs, that's it for us. I'll talk to you later, pal. You
Have
take
fun.
care. Okay, folks. As typical, I'm grabbing that gal in the fur coat out on the front porch, and I'm going to dance my butt out of here. And we'll see you Saturday, Christmas Eve. Or not Saturday, Christmas Day. So,
Christmas is on Sunday.
no.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No, it's on Sunday. Yeah, you're right.
Sunday.
Son of a
Yeah, it's
bitch.
not on Saturday.
So guess what? I'll see you on Sunday, guys. It's not Saturday. Christmas Eve's on Saturday.
That's right.
Damn it. I should have looked at the calendar, shouldn't I? So yeah, I'll see you Sunday, a week from now, Christmas Eve. So until then, guys, take care. Like I said, everything, blah, blah, blah. I'm grabbing the girl in the fur coat and dancing my tail out of here. We'll see you in a week. Bye-bye.